Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry we're late. I couldn't find the button. It's my fault. It wasn't there, I swear.
It's okay, button.
Only my problem.
Yeah, but the button disappeared. But we're here now, and
Sometimes
we have
it nicks around the back when it gets excited.
Oh my god.
He always has to be very spicy as soon as
It's
we
a
start.
coupling joke. It's
yes,
not
we
my
didn't even
problem. It's not my
minute.
fault.
And
He's had
he
the chastity
mentioned
cage
coupling.
on for too long. You can't help it.
We usually make it at least 30 minutes before he brings up coupling.
It's not my fault that you've never watched it, so don't get the reference.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
don't watch
have-
anything, so I don't get any
Uncultured
references.
savage.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
used to
sorry.
being uncultured and a savage.
Oh my
god.
Well-
I'm getting so distracted by Kirsche's boobs.
She's like,
They're very distracting when I'm in my swimsuit.
Oh, look at her. She's going. You want to chat?
oh no.
Like a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, pretty much, you know.
If you just see X-ray just zone out in the middle of the stream, you know why. Like,
Drool, drool, drool.
At least it's a nice thing to get distracted by, though. You know?
I can appreciate a good set of boobs, okay?
Exactly.
Even if it's anime. I like Stellar Blade a lot, okay?
I like
I
Stellar
played
Blade.
Terra for many years. You know, I get it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like this has
Thank you for
been
having me.
we've been probably trying to get our schedules meshed for a while here. So we finally did it. The chat seems very happy. So
Heck
thank
yeah.
you. And thank you for the raid earlier. I was looking, I was like, why is there like 400 people waiting already? It's like 45 minutes. I didn't know.
I tried to like actually raid you, but it said I needed permission to like
Oh.
actually raid. So I think a bunch of people just went over there manually because we spammed the link.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Yeah,
It was
I
the
have to
worst
change
timing
that.
for YouTube to put in a raid function, because that was the same time Twitch kept going through the, we hate raiding people, and so YouTube panicked. And now you can't raid without permission.
Yeah, it's a little stinky. I feel like most people on Twitch at least have the presence of mind to not do hate raid stuff. Some people just kind of ruin it for everyone, I feel like, you know?
Yeah,
What's so
that's
bad about a
true.
hate raid? I don't get it.
Oh, it was just trending for about a week on Twitch, and bad timing.
Also, a lot of hate raids will typically have people come over and spam your chat with, like, the N-word or other slurs, which can get you banned as a streamer, so...
Oh, is she a little low?
I tried.
Were you tried?
Oh,
I might need.
I can
you to
crank
pump it
up my
more.
gain myself. Hold on. Maybe that'll be better. I'm
There you
worried
go.
about...
Yes.
Yeah, because I have an air purifier behind me, and I just didn't want that to be bleeding through my mic.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, we can hear it now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, oh no.
It happens. I usually have a fan going too, but don't worry about it. It just adds to, like, you know, it's like your hair's flowing because you've got wind, and you know what I mean. It just adds to
If it
everything.
gets too obnoxious, I can just like stay muted until I have something to say. Not a big deal.
No, you're fine. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm excited. The chat is wild tonight. So what have you guys been up to? What have you been doing, X-Ray?
Oh.
You've been busy.
This is my last weekend here, so we had Steph, my nerdy home, come over, and we ate Philly cheesesteak sandwiches with chips inside the sandwich. I have to. And then we had cheesecake, and then I fell into a coma and napped before the stream.
I had cheesecake the other day too, and also fell into a coma because my mom was in town, so we made one of those big, like, New York style ones, and oh my god, so good. But yeah,
What is a
love
New
cheesecake.
York like cheesecake?
Wait, Wait, did you say cheesesteak or you had cheesecake too? Is what you just said, right?
Cheesecake and cheesesteak. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I got confused by the
She's
okay.
steak and she's steak.
So New
Got
York
all the
style
cheese.
is just like it's real thick. It's a thick cheesecake.
I like it thick.
I only asked because I found out New York pizza is basically an abomination, and I wondered if
Yes,
you'd done
it
something
is.
No, it was
horrific to
Chicago.
cheesecake as well.
No, it was
No, no,
Chicago.
No,
I
Chicago
like New
pizza's
York.
delicious.
Oh,
Chicago's the one that this
No.
brew doesn't like. He doesn't like dish. He's gonna.
I
so
don't like a
New
thick
York is
pizza.
thin.
No,
Oh,
I
I
know
love
what
a
deep
thick
dish pizza
pizza.
is. This was like a bucket that someone had just covered with cheese and then
Okay.
served it up. And it was, you might as well eat it with a shovel. It was that, like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to have
No.
to eat my pizza with a shovel because it has so much cheese.
Okay, if it's cheese, it's fine. If it's no.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
too
yeah.
much sauce, and that's what it, like deep dish looks like too. Like it's just like you just poured like a whole jar of sauce on like a little mini pizza.
I actually, unironically, before I hopped in here, ordered a Chicago deep dish pizza for delivery.
Oh my
Dude,
god! I wish we could
You're
see
able
you
to swim
eat
in
it.
it when it arrives.
I just
Swim
shake
in
a
it.
lot when I eat things. I have a couple
me
of pieces
too.
of fruit
Wait,
in front
do
of
you
me.
have like a dance when you get good food? Like a
Yeah, you always gotta like dance a little bit when you have good food.
oh my god!
It's the autism.
No, I just enjoy food that much. It's
Yeah,
so
I think
yummy.
it's just a woman thing by how all three of you knew exactly what you were talking about and agreed.
we like we
It's
know
like,
what we
yeah, I have a
like,
dance
and we
like
like
that.
food. Women like food.
Aren't
That's
women
not-
the
We like
cutest
putting
when
good
they're
things in
slightly
your mouth.
retarded?
Yes.
It's kind of like, am I supposed to have a dance? There's sometimes where it's like, am I the only one?
This is like when men are like, yeah, I can't make any noise during sex. I got to be completely silent. You know, that's the manly way to
Kind
do
of
it. Like,
weird
don't show
if
any
it's, like,
emotion.
Silent. You're like, what's happening? Are you having fun? I can't tell. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have a little dance, and I know even when I'm by myself, I can't help but do it when I have something good. It's just like a little shimmy.
Start doing night fever in the middle of the
Just
pizzeria.
start doing disco. Like yeah.
So-
Exactly. There is one New York pizza that I always talk about that I would love to try, and it's because it's made with no dough. The actual like pizza part is
it
a super flattened chicken parmesan that they then put the pizza toppings on. I want to try that so bad.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I need to make that
Turn
now.
on
Thank you
more,
for that
Kirsche.
idea. She's like, tell me more about this chicken
It's
Exactly.
almost like the KFC burger where it was like the bread was just chicken.
I did not try that. KFC is
I
a little
didn't try it either.
a little too much for me, you know.
pizza. Oh my gosh. Well, what do we want to start with? Let's let X-ray pick.
Ugh.
What topic?
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
god. Can we talk about Blake Lively then? I'm like,
Yeah.
I super
You know
love
what?
that topic for some reason because I'm a girl. Surprise there.
There's
That's probably the first time this ever happened. What do you want to
Her
talk about,
husband's
Blake
cute.
Lively?
I just
Well-
want to dunk on her. Okay.
Yeah, there's two things. Because first off, like every people that are used to me know that I'm a huge Buffy fan. I've got the poster right there with Michelle Trachtenberg. So that was devastating news when she passed. And she was only 39. Like that to me is just insane. And they still have they even really released it? I know she was having liver issues. She had like a transplant.
I don't think they will. They're not doing
What
a
they don't know.
examination
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the body, so they'll never know.
I couldn't. I thought it was fake when I first saw it, like heard about it.
Oh,
I'm like,
me
wait,
too.
no. I'm like, no.
Apparently,
no.
her parents are contesting the results of the autopsy because they were
There
saying
was
that they
no
like,
autopsy.
or not an autopsy. They're contesting like the ruling or whatever. Because I briefly read
Oh,
that
they
on
want
Twitter that
one?
her parents were just like, yeah, we don't believe that this was like natural or like due to the liver or whatever. And I was like, why would her parents contest that? And then I got distracted and didn't continue reading.
It happens. I understand that. Getting distracted.
think
Like,
I
"Ooh,
want to know.
If
something
they
else
contested
shiny
it,
popped
that-
up. Let me.
You'd think if they contested that they would ask for the autopsy. They were the ones that turned it
Yeah.
down and didn't want
Yeah,
any
I read
investigation
that.
done.
Oh, that's
I
even
read that.
weirder than if they turned down an autopsy if they were contesting why they concluded that she died.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I heard. That unless you never know what people make up and stuff. But I thought the last thing I heard was it would always go down as unknown, essentially. For that reason.
Yeah. I don't know.
That you could always ask for an autopsy as the people who are next of kin. Maybe that's just a Canadian thing. Not sure.
No, I think you can. Like normally, don't they just do that anyways? Because like the they want to know how someone died, no matter what, like whether the family wants to know or not. At least I thought that.
Well, definitely if
I
there's
don't know.
criminal investigation, I would
Yeah.
assume that, but there isn't anything criminal, is there?
Yeah, it was ruled undetermined because the family objected to an autopsy. So they wanted
That's
to
so
do it, the family
strange.
didn't want to. Yeah, like we
That
just
is-
don't want to know.
That is weird, and it makes it even more strange because they didn't think that it was the liver. So like, I would want to know. I'd be okay. If
Yeah,
I don't,
exactly.
honestly, it probably was. If you see how she was looking like near the end, like she definitely
Oh my
was not
god,
looking.
even a year before that, she was looking, it looked like she got the buccal fat removal. Now, she could have had it,
She
but we
might
don't know
have.
for sure.
Yeah, she probably did. I don't understand that because like the fat in your face makes you look younger. So I don't get Hollywood. Like I understand like kind of what they're trying to go for to like get that like contoured look, but just
Yeah,
contour.
you don't want the contoured
just,
look.
Just I mean, just use makeup so it's not so heavy. Like there's a difference
Oh,
between like
stop
having
using
a,
the makeup. No, it's horrific. Have you
No,
seen
put it
Rachel
down.
Zegler on Vogue? They
Oh my
made her look
God.
like a bloke. Like, stop it.
Oh,
Like,
that's
all-
just her naturally disparate, okay?
Yeah, like that.
This is, no, the Vogue,
she has
they
a
really
strong
went
jaw.
for it.
Like Ariana Grande recently looking like Eugenia Cooney.
Oh, that's
Yes.
also because she just is gaunt. she didn't need any fat removal. She did it
needs-
herself.
She needs like a steak or something. Like,
It's like I feel bad for her.
Yeah, she looks bad. I don't understand if it was because of stress or because she wanted to make sure she looked super thin for the Glinda role, but I don't get
I think
it.
it's
It don't
just
look.
the being in that industry and
Yeah.
having a very warped view of what skinny is.
Even if have you seen pictures of Millie Bobby Brown? Like the internet is ripping her apart. Like she went from 11 to 40 in a year. Like she doesn't look like she's in her 20s, right? Like mid 20s. She's still kind of young.
Marriage has been hard on her, okay?
Apparently. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, she has. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like I saw some stuff on X and I'm like,
Can you share it, Disbruce, so people can understand what we're talking about? 'Cause
yeah,
I feel like
you share it and I'll pull this back up and read the. Yeah, because I have actually, there's two things. I know it's not even in the title, but there's two little things that we can talk about with Blake because this topic is insane. Like, I don't know what's going on with her. He's got it. Thank you.
That she looks middle-aged woman there. I mean,
yeah.
How
She
old
looks
is
kind of like
she?
a man. She got like manly jaw.
Yeah, that's like
Well,
a thing. Is
my theory is that because a lot of makeup and sort of fashion people are just gay men, they're making the women look like what they find attractive, and so they just all look like blokes. That's my theory for
It's
Vogue
like
and everything.
cult of gay men making women.
No,
look
I think it
cool.
is. Like you see Instagram face. It is the contoured cheekbones and everything.
They're
And
like,
they
look,
just
if
look
we
like
if we
blokes.
just put the makeup on the real women to make them look like men, then the men who think they're women will feel included.
this Bruce got his
That's the
tinfoil hat
alternative
on. He's
theory.
like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
This
okay.
is conspiracy theory. I think you might actually be right.
Well, my whole thing is that for most people act based off instinct and then they rationalize it afterwards. So it's not like they're deliberately doing it. It's just, I think it's pretty natural that if you wanted to make someone attractive, you'd make them attractive to you. Well, if you don't like women and you're putting it on women, that's a problem.
Yeah. No, it really is a thing because I'll watch like when you go down like the looking at reels or shorts at night and you just a bunch of random garbage. I find myself quite often, especially with like makeup like transformations, like people doing cosplay stuff like that. Like, is that a guy or a girl? I can't tell if that's an androgynous woman or a gay guy. Like it happens a lot more
This
often than it
is-
used to.
This is why I like Asian makeup, where it's just more subdued, kind of looks more natural, like the no makeup look.
Yeah, like I think for me, like personally, unless I'm doing a certain look, like for cosplays and stuff, I prefer it's like enhance the natural, perks that you have, like your natural beauty. That's what I think every woman should do. But I don't know.
Well,
I
that's what
just
it
don't
used to
wear
be.
makeup normally, and then when I do like the full face of like complete goth
When I do, I'm
woman makeup.
animated.
That's fine. she goes all in or nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, sometimes you get in the mood. Like girls, like that's what some guys don't get. Like some girls just like to play with their makeup. Like I'll get like a new palette and be like, I'm not going anywhere today, but then I'll do like some intense look, and I'm like, what am I doing? But it's fun, Even when we were little girls, we liked playing with our mom's makeup, lipstick, and all that. It's but yeah, I prefer to do the lesser sometimes.
But
Sometimes I like
that's
the fancy.
when I was growing up in the 90s. That was kind of the thing. It was basically just you'd put fertility signals on you and that would be it. Whereas then it
Fertility
evolved and got
signals?
worse.
I
I
just
feel
love
like
how
I need
he
a
calls them-
sign.
Well, that's what
Fertile
makeup is.
Myrtle.
Like,
I know what he's talking about, but I haven't heard men refer to it as that before. So
what,
Like the blush
they're like, oh, I
cheeks
put
and
I put rouge on my
glossy
cheeks. It's like,
lips.
why? Well, it's because
Disper
you
was secretly a
flush.
62-year-old archaeologist.
See this fertility signal makeup on this lady.
Well, like, that's what it is. And it's like people don't know why they're doing it, but those are the reasons why they're doing it.
He's not
whereas
wrong.
over time, it morphed into I'm gonna paint a face on my own face, and they just the best ones are the videos where it's like, watch me do my makeup, and they spend about half an hour, 500 different products, but look like an entirely different person at the end of it.
Oh my god, those are
weird.
my favorite when it's like the really just they change their whole face, especially like ugly Asians. I'm sorry, but they know it.
That's why
I
they
wasn't
do
gonna
so
use
much.
those words, but that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
no, but
of.
they do
The
most
ugly
drastic-
Asians are like the white women with even no teeth, and then they turn into like some fucking
Uh-huh.
20-year-old club
You're like, what the
bombshell. I'm
heck?
like, how?
My
You
favorite
are
should be-
magic.
hair.
There should
like,
be a
what-
line where it's illegal. I do think at some point you get done for identity fraud.
There's like this thing that some like older or maybe just like overweight. I don't know. This women that they do. I don't know what it's called, but it's like
They tape their
sticky
neck?
thing. Yeah, they tape
And
it,
then-
and it like gives you a facelift.
No, you could if you pull your neck, it makes your neck look skinnier. So I've seen like there's
all
a
just-
product.
We're going into the Simpsons meme here, where he pulls all his fat back and then just
yeah,
ties it
it's-
But
around
like,
his ear.
how does the tape stay there the whole day, right?
I
I have
know.
no idea.
They've just
No.
got like a big roll of it in their handbag, and they just keep going back and just tying it.
I feel like it would stretch your skin out so much, and
Oh,
then you'd
mm.
have to just keep pulling and pulling and pulling.
Yep. There's like an entire second person behind you.
I know, just like back in the Victorian days, when you had to do the corset, and there's just someone with their foot on your back, just.
You actually can't run because you leave like an after image.
Oh my god!
You just wake up after she's taken off the tape before they went to bed, and you
Oh
wake up
my
next to a
God.
puddle person.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
She
like a
deflates.
Black Mirror episode. Well, back to Michelle Trachtenberg. Okay, so yes, extremely sad. I still can't believe it. And same with Gene Hackman, which we'll get into that in a minute. But since we were going to talk about Blake Lively, I thought this would be interesting. What are you laughing at?
As we're gonna talk about Blade Lively, we had to
Well-
bring up a corpse. It's the closest thing we've got to it. We thought we'd ease you in gently.
Not even one corpse, 3 corpses.
3.
Maybe 4 if you want to count the dog.
True.
Speaking of like possible murder victims,
So she, oh my gosh. So yeah, well, Michelle was on Gossip Girl with her.
I
don't
loved
think
her character. She was a
Georgina was
fish.
a good villain. She was a great villain.
Mhm.
But okay, so this was her tribute to her, and everyone is ripping her apart for this, and it makes sense why. Because if you're following the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff, which I am a little bit, but I don't know, maybe X-Ray knows this, or so what was the context when she was like texting him, right? And she said something about yummy to him, and it was very flirty. I don't know what the message was. Let me look. Actually, it might be in this tweet.
Can you make
Let's-
it bigger? Sorry, it's just so blind.
Oh yeah, sorry.
She works with Gary, all right. She's used
Yeah,
to
that font
larger
is like
text at this
like
point.
2% of what we needed.
So in her, this is actually really small, but this isn't getting bigger.
If
Sorry.
you if
You'd
you
have
right
to
click
right-
open
yeah.
image in new tab, that'll make it not like squinched size because
Oh.
Twitter fucks with it.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you. So I won't read the whole thing, but this was her tribute to Michelle. And from what I've heard, they did not talk for a year. Like after Gossip Girl, I don't think that they remained friends, which it seems like nobody on Gossip Girl remained friends with Blake afterwards. But she said something here about she always had yummy caramel smelling lip gloss on because she didn't want to just sparkle on camera. She liked creating a nice experience for anyone who was in her orbit. And people are ripping that apart because in text with Justin Baldoni, she was saying something about yummy to him, like something like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like an inside joke, but she used that phrase and people are like, okay, you're being very flirty with him. It doesn't seem like he's bothering you at all, which we've seen a lot of that. Like she was very like aggressively like overly touchy with him and a lot of things. So that's why she's getting into part for this. So they're like, oh, this is a PR stunt. She's using this moment of Michelle Trachtenberg passing away to say something like, oh, this is just how I am. Like, I just talk like this. You know what I mean? Like, yummy. So she's getting ripped apart.
I don't
for
know
that.
anything
Yes,
about
it's a
Joey
PR stunt.
Baloney, so that sounds like a reach to me.
Joey Baloney. Yeah.
Well, okay. The kind of quick version, she used his movie to promote her fashion brand during the movie release. And the movie is about
Domestic violence.
yes. And so it kind of did feel a little out of place. And then, in December, she slapped him with allegations that he was, harassing her. And then there was a countersue of him saying, no, it's not actually true. Here are some screenshots of stuff that she misconstrued, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now it's just like a he said, she said battle. That's like
Man,
the
celebrity
really short version.
relationships sound exhausting.
Yeah. There's a lot of other little things and nuances in between, but that's just the quick version.
She kicked him off his own red carpet, wouldn't allow it, and when he was the director, she made her own director's cut of the movie and released it instead of him. And I think that the best one was before she filed the sort of the SA allegations against him, she threatened him that if it didn't give in to her demands, she would take off the gloves. It's like,
yeah.
So
she basically strong-armed herself into producer credits on a movie that he had been pursuing to do. And she had her version and his version of the movie. And just it clashed because she wanted to be all about fashion and florals and
How
exciting
does Ryan
things
Reynolds
like that.
put up with this woman?
Well, Ryan Reynolds was helping her.
Yeah.
the rumors are he's like a psychopath.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
It goes deep. Like even in Deadpool, Nice Pool is it
Justin
definitely
Baldoni.
it's loosely based on Justin Baldoni
Well,
apparently.
no, that's
but
something that Justin Baldoni, that was his allegation. He thought it was referencing him, which, as Ryan's always said, that means he watched that movie, saw Nice Pool in that movie, and thought, yeah, that disgusting feminist who's out there taking the piss out of, that's me.
The fuck?
Oh, yeah. So...
Yeah, and she hired former CIA Deputy Chief of Staff Nick Shapiro in ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni.
Oh, it's Justin Baloney. I thought it was Joey.
Joey Baloney.
I
That
thought you
sounds
were
better.
just, making a play on his name. Either way. I like
but yeah,
Joey Baloney more.
I know
Yeah,
it sounds
right?
better. It sounds better.
But I will say this:
when I
he's a
was
very
on a
human.
prisoner dating website, there was a guy named like Joey Bandoloni or something,
No,
and I called him
you
Joey
can't just-
Spaghetti.
You can't just drop. So I was on this prisoner dating website.
Why were you on a site like this?
Because we were reading something on stream a couple of years ago about like prisoners who get lots of like conjugal visits and whatnot. And it was shortly after that like handsome guy, like he's not handsome, but like everybody was fawning over him in the media. He had like that
He's a
chiseled
model
jawline
now.
in California. Yeah.
Oh, that guy, the one with the tears.
Yeah. And so I decided to look up prisoner dating websites, and part of our stream that day was just reading the dating profiles of prisoners. And people on death row actually make dating profiles as well. And the men on death row still put more effort into their dating profiles than the average woman does. It was actually crazy.
To be fair, they have all the time in the world.
That is true. That is true. The Joey Spaghetti guy was like, "Hey, yo, I know what it looks like because I'm in here for a murder, but like I didn't do it. I just took the fall for my friend. Like, if you want to know more about it, you'll have to write me." And I wrote Joey Spaghetti a letter, but I never got a response.
Joey Spaghetti.
Oh no! I got rejected by him.
I don't know if I got rejected or if the post office was screwing with me again, because my PO box would frequently just not get mail delivered to it, and the only way I would know is because like people would tell me they were sending something, and they're like, I got it sent back. Yeah, so maybe I accidentally broke Joey Spaghetti's heart. Like he thought that I didn't want a return message or something. It's just I hate the post office.
This is like a Craigslist missed connection. We need to actually try this again. We need to make sure we
You get to the point though where it's like I knew I needed a new PO box when the death row inmates turned up and started asking for me. It's like we got way too far. Like that's always a red flag.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no.
I would like to know the statistics on like how many women these men reject. And how
Oh, well,
many
I don't
dates.
know the numbers, but federal criminals reproduce at a higher rate than normal people. That's a
That's
fact.
insane.
Yeah.
That is wow. What's the conjugal visit?
Well, it's not.
I can't talk.
Well, no,
Physics?
federal criminals can also get out. It's not death row inmates, so they're not on the Green Mile with a queue, although that might happen.
With a Q.
That was actually missed out of the Green Mile movie. Just the queue of women all the way down the corridor.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, before we go to the next topic, let me catch up on some of these super chats, guys. Thank you so much. Wiley's been a member for 19 months. Saucy, let's go. Thank you, Wiley. Nightmare for 2. Late and Kirsch's taste in men. Oh, gay? Really?
You like gay men? Oh, what are you doing?
She's eating her pizza. Okay.
I know I was adjusting my gain a little bit. Apparently I was peaking according to one of my mods. So the running joke in my community is that if I find a man attractive, he just inexplicably becomes gay. Because I've had some really bad dating experiences down here in Georgia. Like I've gone on multiple first dates with dudes, and you know they're supposed to be straight because like I'm a woman, right? Like I don't have a penis. I'm not equipped with that. And so I go on the date, and we're just like talking. You know, we are explaining things in our lives, and they'll eventually sometimes be like, "Oh yeah, you know, I have sex with traps. You know, I go on dates with like trans women, and I'm like that makes you gay, brother. Like, I don't wanna be with a man who fucks men. That's just like my opinion, man." And like some of them get upset, and I've had one like actually yell at me in the restaurant about how I'm homophobic and that like nobody will love me because of my archaic ideals.
Archaic?
I mean, that seems like he's proved it though himself.
Yeah,
That
right,
seems like he
exactly.
knew.
It's like I don't know who you're arguing for, but like you just gotta prove my point,
Yeah,
man.
if you insult someone and you go, "You're homophobic," it's like you're the guy that brought it up. It's not, "Oh, me."
Exactly.
I'm on the date with you. What do you want?
So now it's become a running joke that anytime I find a guy attractive, he just becomes gay.
Oh,
What
I
happens
thought
if
you were
you-
like the good luck Chuck. But
What
like,
happens if you're attracted to gay men?
I hope
Is that
I'm
like
not because I want
negative
like a
terminals
husband
on
and kids.
battery?
Aw.
They can still be gay and produce kids. I'm just saying.
I mean, sure, but you know,
You
I want a
mutual
man who
check.
loves me. You know, I'm not for gay men. You know, I'm not a man, so.
I feel you on that, girl.
There was a recent thing in the sort of box YouTube sphere where a guy had false allegations against him. She came out and admitted it and stuff. But the weirdest thing that came out of it was when he said, "Me and my wife have an agreement that I can go off with men
Oh.
as long as I don't go off with women." And then the woman that he cheated with, she was trying to convince him that it was all allowable because she said, "Well, I'm non-binary, and that means it's a grey area." And this is where I'm like, this is too Zoomer for me. I can't even comprehend
keep up. I can't keep
the
up.
statement
How
that
about,
I've
how
just
about
heard.
just don't cheat on your significant other? There's no such thing as hall passes. Polyamory is a scam. If you're
Well,
going
he
to be in a
had a hall
relationship,
pass
just
from
like
his
fucking...
wife.
Just
And then
for
we're
men,
just trying
though.
to crowbar more people into it.
See, I just don't believe that that's a thing, right? Like, as soon as you say, like, yes, honey, we can open up the relationship and have sex with other people, like, it's over, it's done, you've ruined it.
But that's generally because, it's like, well, she has access to the men who will just go with anything. But if you're a bloke and you also have access to those same men, well, now we're in a numbers game. Like, now we've evened the playing field.
Well, honey, I fucked 5 men tonight, how about you? I was like, oh, that's so
That's
uncomfortable.
awful.
I lost count.
Mongoose.
wicked.
I know. No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Oh my God.
No, I agree with that though. Like, if you have an open relationship, you're not in a relationship. So, like, it's done. Mongoose, thank you for the £5. Good to see X-Ray gets to be on another stream with Jizzle.
Yeah. So I read a super chat that said jiggle physics, but like I stumbled and said jizzle.
She had a
Right.
Beardo moment.
It's just on the mind, was it?
Yeah, it's just like I combined the two words together, jizzle.
She did it
I
again.
mean, to be fair, the jiggle physics are gonna make a little bit of jizzle somewhere, let's be honest.
Oh no.
Keep going,
Okay.
Kirsche. They're almost done.
Don't start counting. That'll excite them.
See, and here we go. Market reality for 5. Anime hooties in the house. There you go. That is very happy right now. Mao and Mutt for $4.99. I think Kirsche needs to see X-Ray's wine bottle opener.
Oh?
Okay. If Psychotic Mongoose, if you send that video of me clipped of me opening the wine bottle, I'll play it. I'll play it for you.
What
I
is
think
your
it's in
wine
my-
bottle opener?
My Discord, but we'll
Well,
save that. We'll get to
Imagine
that.
a wine bottle opener that opens up wine via air pressure.
Pumping air. Yeah.
Well,
So
I,
it's
Yeah,
I
like
was,
inflation, but for the
Pump it in.
bottle.
hmm
Yeah. It's embarrassing for me.
Which
Why
one
is
did
it
you find it,
embarrassing?
Mongoose? You know Mongoose
thought it
has
was
it. He
your
has a
idea.
whole.
I
You
know.
probably-
but-
at this point, there's probably a couple X-ray folders because you got to put them in. There's topics.
Smutty and non-smutty.
Our favorite health minister's here. The health minister of Belgium for $4.99. I was tanning today in Florida, but instead of tanning oil, I used seed oil all over my beautiful body.
Oh my god.
That's gross.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Thank you. Sovani, did I say that right? For 5. If you think Kirsch's chest is distracting now, ask her about the pepperoni nipples.
no one
All right,
wants
so some
pepperoni
people
nipples.
in my chat are like subhuman IQ. Like, you know, they could have been born on a different continent here.
Okay.
As an anime person, I have like shading all over my body, right? Like you can see shadows. And so like on my breasts, there's also shading because of the outfit I'm wearing. And some people perceive the shading as like large areola for some reason.
So I get
Some
it. So
people like that, I
pepperoni.
guess.
They must love it because they bring it up all the time.
I don't even have clothing. It's just all areola all the way down.
I am just one big areola, actually.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing a hat.
Stripes going across.
All them pepperoni areolas.
Justin Martins for 5. So much bouncing booba tonight. And look at Kirsch's. Oh, look, Kirsch's here too. Oh boy.
Hey.
It's Slasher, thank you for the Australian 5. Says nothing. Thank you. Gary Thomas for 5. Hey, all. I hope y'all are having a nice day. Disparu, can you Google Ryuta Watanabe? Ryuta not Watanabe? Did I say that right? Watanabe? I think I said the last part right, but not
I
the
want
first.
to say Watanabe, but you know, I'm
Watanabe?
kind of
First
Bostonian.
picture is just
I'm half retarded. I say that all the time, so you'll see that I'm going to say a lot wrong during the stream.
Same.
And just give me your
I
first
just-
thought. There you go. He's looking it up.
well,
Gary.
I'm going to show you the first image that came up. I haven't read anything about this yet to give first impressions. But this... Oh, I think I was sharing something else up for ages. This was the first image that came up.
What is this?
And I'm like, this is the first thing that popped up when
What
I
the
googled
heck?
it. I
The
don't
guy in
know.
the glasses is giving serial killer vibes.
All I saw was these two because Google had cropped the image. So I saw a baby and someone raising a Wookiee is what it
It's
looked like
actually
to
really
me.
cute.
So there's 2 women with babies and 2 men with dogs.
Yes.
That is strange.
Wait, it's what? 2
Oh yeah,
men
that's
with-
a dude, isn't it?
I'm like 90% sure that's a dude. With
I think
the,
that's
with
a
the
dude.
dog.
Yeah.
We all
Now
had
that
very
you say-
different first
Oh,
thoughts.
yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
like
God.
serial killer, like 2 dudes.
This man from Japan has 4 wives, 2 girlfriends. Hang on, this is a YouTube channel.
What
This
the
man-
fuck?
This man from Japan has 4 wives, 2 girlfriends, and wants to have 54 kids. Ryuta
That's
Watanabe.
a lot.
Seems like it's a
Good for you.
man's name.
He's coming for
He
Elon's.
aims to become the god
baby
of
making.
marriage.
Huh.
Lives
Why,
with
you
4
can't be a
wives
god
and
of
2
marriage.
girlfriends.
Because, like, are they supposed to have 1 wife?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I suppose if you're god, you make up the rules, right?
I mean,
So
I guess.
that's
Yeah.
the only way. It's like when Henry VIII found a loophole. It's like, I'm going to be married to one person and can't have divorce. But if they die, it does say till death do us part.
That's true.
fine. Yeah.
I always wonder why humans think that they'd be able to find loopholes in religious texts. Like, if your god is as all-powerful
He
and
already
all-knowing,
knew.
how are you going to loophole a god?
Yeah, he left
You
it there
can't.
deliberately.
Yes. Jay
My-
Stanley for.
It's like, this
Oh,
one's
sorry.
for
Go ahead.
Steve.
Oh no, I was gonna say my favorite line of text that I've seen from a religious text was, man cannot lay with man unless or they'll get stoned or something, or unless they're stoned. And then someone was like, all right, I'll bring out the weed.
Oh.
This story gets more based as you go along. Japanese man aims to become god of marriage, lives off wives and girlfriends' incomes.
Oh, that's dastardly,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
this guy-
So he gets them pregnant and they work for him.
Yeah, this guy has made like the social income, but from his wives. He's forming his own little state.
He's forming his own.
I don't know
little-
why
yeah.
some of them are dogs, though. That's what's confusing
He's
me.
coming for
There's no
Elon.
explanation for the baby
Elon's
dog.
trying to
I
do.
mean, okay, look, in Canada, a woman tried to get time off from work as if she had a baby, but it was a dog.
I thought you were going to say she tried to get pregnant from a dog, and I was like, I'm ready for this story.
Oh, I'm sure there's been streamers that I've heard of that their dog just starts humping them and you're like, that doesn't seem like it's the first time.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that clip. And then there was that other YouTuber who put his dick on a cat back in the day.
Oh, wow. People are, the internet's crazy.
It is.
I'm not even surprised by that. Like, it's gross, but I'm not surprised. That just shows you how far
What's
we've
wrong with
gone.
people?
How far down we've gone.
He takes on the role of a house husband, cooking, doing housework, and taking care of the children.
See, how
So-
can they be okay with that? House husband is a very effeminate role. And, like, as a woman, I want a manly man. I wouldn't be able to respect my husband.
It's
But
true.
it seems that he sends them off to work and then sort of gathers the cash. He has completely inverted traditional gender roles, and they're all fine with it apparently.
That's so strange.
He must give good dick.
I don't
The
know.
only way I think that would work.
Well, oh, this might be why it's according to the South China Morning Post. Don't they have a problem with men, like the number of men compared to No, isn't there too many men in China?
Yeah, because they kept killing off the baby girls
So that
under the
doesn't
one
work
child
either, then.
policy.
I was wondering if it was a natural case of the not
But, like,
being
that was
enough
China,
men,
and you
but
said this was a
that would be the
Japanese
other-
guy, right?
In Japan, isn't
Oh, but
there
it said
like
according to the South China Post. Oh yeah, Japanese man.
yeah,
What, the-
Japan, there's like
The
a
China Post are talking
This
about
brew
him?
over here
I'm
like
confused.
China, Japan, same thing.
No, the China Post is talking about a
racist.
Japanese man, and I just assumed. I
I mean, of course,
the memory
China's
of a
going to report on a
goldfish.
Japanese man living a degenerate life. They're going to be like, look at those disgusting Japanese and what they've done to their society. Not like us. Glorious China.
I knew he was a Japanese man when I read it at the top of the article, and then I forgot. And so when I saw China, I was like, oh, that must be it.
It happens.
His
I've done that before.
girlfriend dumped a depressed Watanabe 6 years ago, and he claimed that this has motivated him to begin using dating apps to connect with ladies. And I guess he just didn't stop. Anyway, I just love women. As long as we love each other equally, there won't be any problems.
he has a lot of love in him then.
Someone is going to wake up dead one of these days.
Who would it be? Wife number 1 through 50.
That's insane.
At least they've got good odds.
We're going to have Japanese Jonestown eventually.
Yeah. Oh my
Nobody
gosh,
talks
yeah.
about why they're babying the dogs, though. It's not. It's
Maybe
not
those
even
are
there
the
in the
women who don't
article.
have biological children yet, so they have to have like a puppy first to make
So
sure
you
that
must be
they can
holding
be a good
something
mom.
tiny.
This is a test.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Before he
exactly.
puts a seed in them.
Nor can I find out if one of them is a man either. They just say wives.
It's the jaw was very strong. So I'm gonna say, Jake Stanley for 2. Sorry, you were in the disp-queue for a bit. I live in California. We don't get great pizza. I've never been to California. I'm
They get
in
great
Florida,
anything.
and there's not
Naughties.
great pizza over here either. But
No, Gary
someone
said
who-
there's good pizza out there. I just don't remember the name of it.
It probably
I
depends.
will
mean,
say, California Pizza Kitchen, if you actually get it from the restaurant in California, it's pretty good. Like, it's if you get it from the grocery store, but like at the actual restaurant, it's pretty good.
You know what? Just make your own pizza. It's so much better sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's
I
a
mean,
fun date idea.
I worked at a pizzeria for all of my teen years, so and then some. So I can make a pretty good pizza. And I'm also from New York State, not New York City. I always say state because you say New York and people automatically think city.
Mhm.
No, more upstate. But New York State as a whole just has such good pizza. So I have yet to find a good place in Florida. Bantam Satirius.
Bantam
Sartorius or whatever.
Sartorius.
Victorious, thank you. See, we're not even an hour in and I've already messed up like 3 times. Thank you for the 20. Hail, the Foxdude lady brought me here. Good evening, ladies and Englishmen. Before we start, a word of warning for Disbrew. The Foxdude's a Bostonian. You know what they like to do to you Brits, eh?
I'm not even gonna throw his
no,
tea
that
in the
was
ocean. I'm
based-
gonna throw him in it.
No, that was entirely based. Look, putting tea into water. What did you think we were gonna do about it? It's not like if you're trying to turn the ocean into the greatest cup of tea that's ever existed in all of history. I think that's
Salty tea.
We're gonna make the
Well,
Brits drink
the
the
boss-
ocean tea and
you can't have
dehydrate
everything.
them to death.
I didn't say they had taste. I just said it was based. We'll educate them how to make a proper cup of tea afterwards.
Microwave. Got it.
I don't even own a microwave.
No, me neither. I just like saying it to bother the Brits.
Yeah, like X-Ray used to, but then she kept one of the staples in the tea bag when she put it in. And
What the
One
heck?
of the staples.
Oh no! You don't put the tea bag in while you're microwaving the.
No, you just
oh
heat
no,
up the
Americans
water.
do. I've seen it.
He's like, I've seen some
This is
stuff.
what
I know what he's
prompted
talking
me to-
about.
Yeah,
That is just disgusting. How dare
they
you?
put the tea bag in the water and that in the microwave.
I'll just have hot cocoa like a classy lady.
Yeah. Sly Rye for 2. I heard Fox 2 getting saucy and 69. Let's go.
Can I
this
just
is
say, I
episode
meant to say,
69.
Yep.
yes.
And Staccato with the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much. You know what? We haven't. Here we go.
Saucy.
You know what DDS stands for?
Dental Dad. Didn't you
I
say
thought
that in
it
the
was just
chat?
double
I
D.
call him Dental
Daddy?
Daddy Staccato.
Oh, what
I
the
like
heck?
that. I like
It's
that.
actually like dental something. It's
See,
a,
when you say dental daddy staccato, I'm thinking of like dental dams, and I'm like, why would that man want to be like all up in there just taking some dick? Like, what the heck?
Oh no. She went a whole nother way with it.
whatever
Oh,
makes you
no.
happy.
Andrew, thank you for the 5. Happy first day of March. So Sydney Sweeney is delaying her wedding for her heart for a YouTuber. Oh, YouTube streamer. Congrats, Disparu. Oh, she's delaying the wedding because she's in love with Disparu. Is what
Well,
Andrew's
I mean,
saying.
it's very difficult to even reply to that, as no one ever seen Sydney Sweeney's face. Like, you'd at least have to find out if she's got one first. I think it's a conspiracy that no photograph has ever contained her face.
Thank you, Staccato. I'm dumb.
Mark of reality for 5. What are pepperoni nipples and how are they connected to Kirsche? Asking for several friends in the chat. I'm clueless. Well,
Apparently,
Pepperoni
they're just
nipples are when a
on her.
woman have giant dinner plate nipples. They're not like tiny and cute.
What-
They're like massive.
It's not the nipples, it's the areola.
It's
Oh,
the,
yeah, that's
it's
true.
the
It is
around
the
nipples
areola.
when
Had to
they're
do the
like
most.
perky and
Yeah.
up.
you had to do
Yeah.
the
Well,
most.
you have to really give them an, like
That's
an
true, you gotta
idea
give
of
them
the
a show.
size that you're talking
So,
about.
I used to do mammograms,
It's like the
and
wheels
like
on the bus.
I've seen like the teeniest, tiniest areolas, but I think the biggest one I've ever seen was like almost the whole entire breast.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh wow, now that's a
That-
salami.
they're
Yeah,
big.
Not even
X-Ray's
pepperoni.
flexing now on how many pairs of boobs she's seen.
I've touched many boobs in my lifetime. I'm just saying,
Everyone's jealous of her.
big boobs, small boobs.
What?
I used to do mammograms. Whatever. They came in willingly, and I squished
like-
them.
Why do you think she's come around to your house, Kara? She sensed another pair. It was like new
Must attack.
territory to conquer.
True.
Like literally, I was just like, okay. I'll take my hand and be like, scoop up the boob, and then I literally like pull the boob out, and I'm hugging them, trying to get them in
Pull it out of
position.
her sock.
And then at the end, you have to make sure the nipple's showing nicely, so you have to like manipulate the breast a little bit.
Oh goodess.
You're welcome, Chad.
I've only
She's
ever
grabbed
had like
somebody,
regular
she
breast exams, never a mammogram.
She developed a
Yeah, me either.
strategy.
Slasher, thank you for the Australian 10. Dispy Wispy, you should watch Spec, Japanese supernatural detective show.
Will you dispy wispy?
He's a man of many names.
I love that name. It's my
It's
favorite
so
name
cute.
that traveled with you.
Yeah, it wasn't that was the ghost version of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damage and I.
I'm glad for the foreign TV recommendations. I watched whatever it was called. There was a show about it was the Korean version of House. It was really good.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Thank you for the 2 Damage Night. That is super sad. Rest in peace, Michelle T. Yes. Very sad. Vimaran, thank you for the 10. Evening, everyone who is drinking. Kirsche Kathleen Kennedy is it Kirsche or Kirsche?
Kirsche.
Kirsche. Okay, sorry, I said it wrong. I said it both ways.
That's
so
okay. I
Kirsche.
never correct people. It's fine.
I say things wrong all the time.
It's like, what will I be
so-
called today?
It's a fun game.
It's like Kesha sometimes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can see that. Kathleen Kennedy is not retiring, but don't be sad because sad backwards is das und das is nicht gut. Anyway,
Das ist nicht gut.
there we go. Anyway, back
That
to
was
getting
way
murdered
too
in DVD.
cute a way to pronounce German. All of German has to be aggressive. It's the law. It's like, that is not good.
It is not good.
Like, I think in German, I love you is Ich liebe dich.
You have to yell it. You have to say it with your chest.
You never know
No,
whether
Kirsche
they love
does.
you or about to punch you in the face.
True.
But it comes out sweet when she says it. Ian, thank you for the 50. Blake Sawyer, I'll write this. I miss her yummy, unproblematic, and definitely not narcissistic presence.
Oh my god.
Ian, you're savage today.
Thank you.
Please, please.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Because I'm worth it. I do think with what you said earlier, it's like, is Yummy flirting? Is it just how she talks? I think probably both is true.
Yeah,
That
I
she just
definitely.
flirts with people all the time.
I think both can be true, yeah. But I definitely, because you could just see it, like, obviously, yes, she's an actress, so she's going to turn on the acting, but there are certain scenes where she just seems very, like, flirty with him. And at the very least, not like she's being harassed. That's the biggest
It just
thing.
depends on how she says it, right? If she gives you like a
Exactly.
yummy or like a yummy.
Oh,
Exactly.
I think Kirsche
I-
was
I-
flirting with me, guys. I watched the movie on the way here, and their chemistry is like hot.
What,
So-
Blake and Justin? Oh, actually, if I can find it before we end, I will pull it up. But there's this guy who he kind of looks like a discount Ryan Reynolds in a way, but he
What the
plays
heck?
both of them, and he does like little skits where he's like, and it shows like Blake listening to the voicemail. He's like, "Hey, Blake," and it's like very like the way he sounds is very like he's being sexy, but it's just a regular voicemail, and it like she's like, I'm just gonna listen to this to go to sleep, and he's like, okay, and like Ryan's turned over like listening. He's like, can you turn it down? Like she's listening to it in the bed next to him. It's crazy. I'll see if I can find it before we end,
What
but
the heck?
they definitely did
see-
have good chemistry.
I could see her going for Justin just because he senses another person to dominate. She's like, this is a weak-willed beta. That's hot. I think that's probably her type.
Did you guys see the? I don't know. I don't think I can play it because Saturday Night Live will get me, or Universal, whatever. Something. Last time I played the Ashley Simpson lip syncing thing from Saturday Night Live years ago. I didn't have the sound on, and it was like 10 seconds, and I got like I had to cut
Oh
it out
yeah,
of my
because
stream.
it's the visual too.
Yeah, so I'm
Is
not
this
Yeah,
gonna
if
pull
you're
it
gonna
up.
do
that Ryan Reynolds is a beta?
No,
No,
Justin
Baldoni is.
Baldoni.
Yeah, but you said that like that's Blake Lively's type, and she's been married to Ryan for years. So like,
You
I
mean
can't
like
picture
she
him as a
wants
beta.
that?
I wouldn't be surprised if she wore the trousers there as well.
oh no, my whole life is a lie.
Because you would either have because you could have it the other way around, where she's so used to being able to manipulate people that he's just overpowers it. That could also be the other way, but I think it's one of those.
I think she's used to being with betas, and then when she got with Ryan, she probably was put in her place a lot. And now that she is a stay-at-home mom for the most part, when she gets out to do these types of roles, she wants to have that power.
Yeah.
And in a way, he's helping her fulfill that. So,
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
that's my thoughts.
But there was the Saturday Night Live, like I wish I could play it, but I don't think I can. There's this quick little clip. They had like their 50th anniversary special, and they had, you know, a bunch of celebrities in the audience, and Ryan stood up and did like a little, like a very kind of cringy, he was trying to be funny, and it just didn't work. And he said, it was Tina Fey that he was talking to, and she's like, well, how's it going? He's like, why? What have you heard? And you see like Blake like turn, like she didn't expect that he was gonna say that, because like obviously they got all this stuff going on. She probably knew though. They're actresses.
Oh,
you know,
was
actor-
this
actors,
their
but, like,
recent appearance? There was like
yeah,
a
Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm.
that came out. They had a script ready. They had a skit for him to do, and he was like, "No, I
Yeah.
want to do this one." And so
And he
he
made it
wrote
worse.
that himself. So yeah, that was all planned and done deliberately.
Yeah, it's not a good look for either of them.
I
but-
just like that Saturday Night Live. All people like, we don't want to talk about your court cases. Like, I do. It's like, I want to rub it in everyone's face.
Hold
'cause
up.
he
Wait
thinks
a minute.
I think that, like both of them think that they're funnier than they are. Like I don't dislike Ryan. I don't even really dislike Blake. I just kind of don't care. They both have had roles that I
But
enjoyed.
she's not funny,
but-
but he He is. The sketches that he does. There was even they did a sketch for Turn Your Phone Off in the cinema, and it was just him and Wolverine and do it, and then they turn to the camera and talk to the audience and just basically abuse them. He's good at doing those kind of sketches, which is why I think it worked for essentially a gimmick movie. That's that sense of humor. It's not stand up, I'm gonna make you laugh out loud kind of humor, but he's good at sort of parody sketches.
I think Ryan Reynolds is funny.
Yeah, there's like Just Friends, like especially back in the day, I found a lot.
Oh
of
my
this
god,
stuff funny.
the 90s, early 2000s, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
I was very Blade Trinity. I found out I was a woman watching that.
Yeah, we have moved away. Like that was a. I think his comment. I think he's hot. that was where that
He's
conversation.
Hot, whatever. And he was very funny in that movie too.
Actually, I was like, I will laugh at his jokes because he's hot. That
Because,
seems
yeah.
to be the I will find him funny.
2142 Jerbo for 5. No, little Foxu, don't date the death row inmates. You know you have bad luck with men.
I'm not going to date the death row inmates. Don't worry about it.
Listen,
just
Joey
gonna talk
Spaghetti.
to them.
She just broke Joey Spaghetti's heart. It's okay.
So I'm just gonna lead them on for a bit.
Sparky Redhead Supremacist for 5. That's the first whiplash of the night. I hope you guys put up a counter. If you invite a fox to stream, she's gonna do fox things.
I love this. This is fun.
And Raider with the 9361. Raider, thank you so much.
Thank
Says
you.
nothing. Here.
Aw.
Aw. I love
I don't-
X-Ray's little noises that she makes. It's funny.
I don't know if Raya was here the last time I said it, but in Orlando, I got to a point in the conversation where he went, yeah, you know, Razor putting a name to a face, and I think he'd already introduced himself at that point. And I was like, oh. The social awkwardness in me didn't know, should I just tell him that I didn't know who he was for half the conversation, or carry on as if nothing happened? And so we had this
now
thing
he
where
knows.
I think he was like, I don't think you know, but I'm trying to get a reaction from you. And I was like, I have no idea how to respond in this situation. So the English messenger just went, Ted, nothing happened. It'll be fine.
Fake it till you make it.
Thrive in the awkwardness. Say it later when he's not there. It'll be fine.
Okay, so let's pull up some of this, what Kirsche specializes in, among many things, but I think
boy.
this is like her favorite thing. I'm kidding.
My favorite
It's your
thing.
favorite thing. So Warner Brothers Discovery to refer to DEI efforts as inclusion after Trump mandate.
Wow, I'm so surprised they're not getting rid of it and just changing the language.
It's rebranding, guys.
Yeah, they're rebranding here. There's the article. Let me get this out of here.
It's weird that that's the one they picked, though, is like inclusion, which just means the lack of standards. The more people you include, the lower the standard you have to include more people. And so they're just going, we're going to make trash. We're not going to include talent or anything. We just want to include every single person in the world.
Inclusion is also a very easy word to get people to believe that they're, supporting something that's nice and natural, while it's used as a subversive word to get people to falsely push what their version of inclusion is. Which, as we know, like I've talked about on my streams, CAA, the Creative Artist Agency, which is like one of the largest agencies in California that deals with like actors, musicians, content creators. They just boldface came out and said that, yeah, diversity just means less white people and less men. And so, like, if a show is going to be diverse, it has to have at least 40% non-white people. But for a show to be very diverse, it has to have 60% non-white people. And the more white people you have, the less diverse your show is.
Yeah.
But that's why using inclusive is kind of counterproductive.
It's a lie.
Because it would mean, like, including everybody.
No.
Diversity,
See, that's what subversive language is, right? Inclusion, when they say it, the, like, room temp IQ normies are going to be like, yeah, inclusion's great. That means everyone's included, right? All the white people, all the black people, all the Asians, like, we're all together in inclusion. Yay! But no, they're using it the same way that they've used the word diversity, in that they're still excluding certain people, but they're being slightly nicer to those people now because they're necessary to push the culture in the direction they want it to go.
But diversity had an argument that they could make, because they were like, well, this is the majority, so we include more of the minority, that will make it more varied. Whereas inclusivity is essentially repulsive to people on a base level. No, you don't practice inclusivity anywhere. In your house, you're like, oh yeah, I just want to include random people off the street into my house. I want to include as many people onto my private property as possible. Like, we are the most exclusive people at all times, because it's just a base level of standards. And so I don't think they're going to get away with this. I know everything they do is about word games. It is about the subversion and stuff. I think this is just not been planned out, or at least at first it went through the academia and they kind of workshopped everything. They came up with the base level to manipulate people with it. This just seems like a CEO has gone, we'll just cut off those letters because they don't like those.
Yeah, well, it says right here that the company said it's making the change around its language to make sure we continue to comply with the evolving legal landscape in the United States and around the world.
We found a loophole.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kirsche, what you were just about to say. Sorry.
I don't remember.
I've already spoken about my goldfish memory. It's fine.
But yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna get away with it, because obviously it's just like you guys just said, it's the same exact. It's diversity with a new name.
Well, I mean, they've been getting away with it since at least June of last year, when I talked about how they've been changing DEI. They've been dropping the equity. They've been changing it to just inclusion and belonging. And especially if they add the belonging onto inclusion, they're just like, they're not saying we're going to include absolutely everyone. They're saying we want to include people who are going to be good for what we're trying to achieve. And right, like, you obviously want to make people feel included. You want to make them feel like they're in a safe space, which is like the language that they use. And especially SHRM, which is like the conglomerate of like HR representatives that kind of talk about how they like set the stage for all the other HR representatives. And they had their conference last year in like June or July, and that was when a lot of places started changing the language from DEI to inclusion and belonging. And this was something I had been talking about since January of last year.
So they were ready. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been ready for a hot minute.
That's why it's interesting, because it's like the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, and they're all owned by the same people. They're essentially mouthpieces of Hollywood. So what they talk about is what Hollywood wants you to know. And over the last week, like unironically last week, Paramount came out, Warner Brothers came out, Disney, there were stories about all going, we're all rowing back on DEI now, folks. So essentially, new guy came in, started trying to enforce discrimination laws, and everybody wanted it known far and wide. We're not doing that anymore.
Well, this was the thing that drove me crazy as well, is like Robbie Starbuck would come out on Twitter and just be like, oh, I checked into this other company and I spoke to them and now they're getting rid of DEI. We did it again. Oh, hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Hey, it's Kirsche.
While Gary appears.
How's it going? Oh, and there's a lesbian there too. Look at that.
Yeah, I had to be here. There's a conversation about boobs all the time. For at least half the episode.
Before I got distracted by the Gary man.
The Gary
Well, this whole thing about DEI, whatever you want to call it, it's just a marketing scheme of subversion, just to, like, as we said earlier, to make people feel better. And it's kind of sad because we're losing so many good things because we're doing this, because we're not basing things on meritocracy. And I miss good stuff so much, because I've heard
Cheryl Dyja, the CEO of Bridge,
that they like.
Yeah, she just made an article about talking how meritocracy is basically like a big lie that people hide behind, because if you only do things based on meritocracy, you're not going to achieve like good outcomes, and good to her is obviously equitable, which is against meritocracy.
And that's the crazy part. The internet, this whole thing is about definitions.
Yeah,
your own personal definitions.
Because, well, their issue is, because when you say meritocracy, like, I don't really care who gets in as long as the best person. But they're like, yeah, but there would be an imbalance in the groups. And that's a problem. It comes down to the idea that everyone is equal and therefore they're interchangeable. So if there's any disagreement between the groups, if there's any difference in the outcome of those groups, then it must be discrimination, because you can't have different groups being better at some things. That is always going to be the problem that they will have. They will assume discrimination, when actually, if different people evolve for different reasons, that they will specialize separately, because it was better for their environment overall. But one thing you will always find when it comes to inclusion, women in film CO means we need to double down on our efforts for inclusion. These will just be, we need more women in movies. You will have female directors going, we need more female directors. You'll have other people going, we need more Korean people in movies. I've never seen someone go, we need to include more people of, and it not be them. 100% of the time. It's always self-interest.
Well, I would say that it's not always self-interest because you have a lot of white people who have the out-group preference and they will advocate for more of a certain minority because it makes them feel like they are, you know, the whole white savior complex kind of thing.
Those are always essentially female temperament people. And so that's the way they socially signal their superiority over others. Where the virtue signaling comes from, it's I'm trying to gain social status by going with the dominant ideology. And so even then, it is self-interest. It's just they're not going for the money aspects. They're going for they value more people's opinion of them.
Yeah,
it would be very strange if The Rock, well, not The Rock, if Henry Cavill, but without him, but like just the type of person, not him specifically, came out and started advocating for it. That is not the kind of person that you would generally associate with social signaling.
Yeah. And like with all the doubling down, as I was bringing up earlier, like with Robbie Starbuck all coming out and being like, look, these people are dropping DEI, Walmart's getting rid of DEI, Amazon's getting rid of it, Microsoft, Jack Daniels, like every single company is like, no. Like, you don't even need me to tell you about Bridge to know that these companies aren't dropping it. Like, they literally say it in their letters that they're releasing. They're like, oh, we're going to stop reporting to the Human Rights Commission, but, you know, we're committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're still going to keep doing everything else. And recently, again, I was in a Bridge meeting and I was reading an article, and essentially they came out and said that, yeah, reporting to the Human Rights Commission, that's not even turning away from DEI stuff. That's them saying, we don't want this as public anymore because too many people are noticing it's become too politicized and we don't want that kind of backlash. So we're going to stop any kind of public reporting, but we're going to stay committed to the work.
Well,
they've gone to the shadows.
The issue they have is even if, like, the CEO wanted to change it at this point, they've spent years filling their ranks full of people that only got hired through this. So they have an inbuilt incentive to keep it going, because otherwise they'll be getting fired. So
it's not even just that.
You're against your entire company from the top down.
It's like, I can imagine a lot of the CEOs who were sold the McKinsey study at the beginning, they were like, oh, we have a study here, it's going to make us more money. Yeah, let's put money into these projects, let's get DEI teams, let's do this, because it you know, they have a study, right? But now all of these DEI acolytes have hired more and more of their friends, more and more of the people who want to keep pushing this stuff. And it's not even out of necessarily a self-preservation, because these people think that they are a revolution, that they are changing culture, that they are, and their beliefs are what the future will be. And so now you have a lot of like C-suite executives and a lot of CEOs who have just been replaced by people who also want to keep pushing this regardless of the financial losses in the short term, which is incredibly unfortunate for a lot of companies, as we see like Ubisoft just completely rotted by ideology, and there's no saving that company.
This is why you should only hire capitalists, because if they don't believe that profit is a good thing, they don't care if you make profit. Like, they will just go into the next thing.
Tank a company completely.
I do like this, and you see this a lot, where it's like, our industry has taken a beating in the past 4 years, so combined with what's happening to women, T, immigrants, Q people, people of color across the country, and we just group basically everybody into the same group. Quite often you'll see it, and they'll just be like, the disabled. And you're like, what are you saying about everybody else? They get the most varied, supposedly diverse group of people in the country, and then go, we can just group that into one blob, and that's fine. That we will turn the biggest monolith of all... We're not a monolith, don't judge us as a monolith, but we are the biggest monolith of all time.
Well, I mean, again, once you understand that a lot of their tactics are just trying to keep out men, trying to keep out white people, then a lot of what they're saying starts making more sense to you, and especially why they make all of the minorities into one giant monolith, despite all of the, you know, little differences that make each of them diverse from one another as well.
Yeah. One of the reasons is they because they're consensus oriented, they will try to collectivize as many people underneath them, and then say that they speak for them, as it will give them more social power. And then
this is also like with with like the crime statistics, right? And we have so many like Mexicans or Arabs now counted as Caucasian under crime statistics, and similar with men being counted under women's crime statistics now. Once you can't talk about something because it's been so muddied and nobody knows what's going on, it becomes that much more difficult to collect data and to have accurate results based on that data. So it's just another way to damage language and damage society in general.
We have a thing over here. There isn't actually a law over here that makes it possible for a woman to force herself onto a man, because forced envelopment isn't illegal. So we have literally 0, 0, 0, 0, and then the numbers start going up. And like, but it's definitionally impossible. it's very interesting how that happens.
Very interesting.
But I know it's people working together to change perception, business practice and culture. Not reality, by the way. It's just perception is reality. Our mission is gender equality. To achieve that, people need to be safe, physically, emotionally, and financially. So
Unless they're biological women.
Yeah.
Safety and
Or
harm
white men.
avoidance at all costs. Generally around people's feelings, you have to affirm people and everything. But there was a different article about gender equality in Hollywood, and it said that finally for the first time, women have had the same amount of roles as men in the most successful movies of all time. Like, yes. It's also the worst year for Hollywood.
Yeah, I remember
existed.
that article.
But finally it's happened. We had to burn the industry to the ground, but it was still good and worth it.
I mean, to
Yeah,
them it would be because
They won. They just
Yes.
want to have the accolades of being in that position, not to do well in that position. Which is so sad.
It is. And obviously, of course, Disney is in on this. The DEI. I mean, everyone is. All these companies. But Disney removes diversity from criteria determining manager pay. Latest DEI overhaul suggests major shift, but leaves questions unanswered. That's shocking. Questions unanswered. So, in an internal memo to employees on Tuesday, Chief Human Resources Officer Sonia Coleman announced that Disney would no longer use diversity as a factor in determining managerial compensation. Instead, leadership evaluations will now focus on how well managers uphold company values and incorporate different perspectives. To me, like,
My
we know they're
favorite
not.
that's
part of
literally
that-
just saying the same thing.
Yeah. So to me, it's funny that like I don't believe them, but that's just how it should be. I'll never understand why. Like I guess they were getting like tax breaks and stuff, right? If they had
Well, they were
someone who
getting
was
increased
diverse
wages.
and yeah. So they're saying it like it's some just
It's corpo
they're-
speak, right?
well, yeah, but they're saying it like they're really doing something. Like, yeah, we had this idea and this is gonna be great. Like, no, this is just how it always should be. You hire
I mean,
someone for this
that's how-
job that's qualified, no matter what they look like, what their gender is. It's insane to me.
And that's how they kind of get you as well with the subversion of language. Like you have inclusion, you have diversity, you have the affirmative action, you have Black Lives Matter, all of these things that are just like, well, yeah, that's just how it should be. And that's how they get so many normies and so many other people to just be like, yeah, well, of course I agree with that. It would be crazy not
It's
to,
all
right?
positive, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
My
it's like
favorite
I have a
part of
lot
that
of
was as Wicked was reading it, she was going, and so in an internal memo to employees on Tuesday, Chief Human, and there was a pause. And I just like the idea that Disney needed a chief human because the rest of them weren't. Like, you're the best human here, you're the only one. Lead the way.
You were the best lizard here.
Lizard.
but
You're
Kirsche's
the one
right,
that
'cause,
passes.
like and when we say like normie, we're not like necessarily coming at people because not everybody does their research. You should, but I mean, people
Normal
like,
isn't
like
an
our
insult.
parents. No, like, but people will take
Like
it
the
like some
average
people-
person.
Yeah, some people will take it that way, but I'm just saying like our parents, they're not on the internet deep diving into stuff. Like I'll tell my mom some stuff and she'll be like, "What?" And she's just like completely blown away of things that I've known for 10 years because she
Well,
doesn't,
like-
deep dive or anything. And then like it's so crazy to me when somebody sends her like a conspiracy thing, sends it to me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's from like 5 years ago." She's like, "What?" Like, yeah.
The normies, they don't even know what's happening. They watch a movie and they're like, it was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to see the sequel or whatever. Just never watch it again because they don't understand why they might not be encapsulated bias, and then still watch a lot of the old stuff and be like, oh yeah, that was a good movie. That was a good show. Because I will watch shows and I will ask my friends who are normies, and I try not to judge, but when they say they love this, I love that, I'm like, oh, why did you like it? And they're like, oh my God, lightsabers and shiny things.
There was
and,
explosions, and it's
and I'm like,
cool.
huh, okay.
I think a lot of that is down to
Interesting.
how they watch it. There's a lot of, I'm going to do the ironing, I'm going to do something else, and it's on the TV. So they're not paying attention, and they just look up for the action. And every so not... So they're only half watching it, and that's kind of what the CW is for. And if you watch the CW shows in that vein, they're not bad. Like, I can understand why people get them, because it's just background noise, essentially. You don't really judge the content. You just see them fight every now and again, and then there'll be a social message or whatever.
To build
so I
on
kinda get
that
it.
as well, some people who aren't even like watching it while doing something else, but they'll like watch something sitting down, paying attention to it, but they'll turn their brains off and they're just like, I don't want to
Yep.
think about it. I just want to consume.
That's why reality TV exists. People
I
just
think that's the best, like, brain shut off and watch, like, the craziest stuff ever.
Bro, I loved 90 Day Fiancé. That is my swapper.
Yes. Oh my god. That's like a
There goes
car
the rest
crash
of the
waiting to
episode.
happen. Like a really bad one.
the girls are gonna go off on reality shows.
What you can tell them, like, we let go.
Oh my god.
There was,
Like,
oh my
there's
god, I
a-
found another one.
Like Netflix, when they did the show, it's like the ultimatum, where they bring their significant other and basically is like, I want to get engaged. We've been together for this many years. So let's like swap partners and like test our relationship and see how well this goes. I'm like, oh,
This is
no,
not
no,
gonna
no, no,
end
no,
well.
no.
Wife
think it
Swap
got-
was a wicked fun show too. There's so many good clips that came out of that.
Yes.
My dad got disappointed about that because he read the name and he was like, there's no way they made a show about that. He was like, oh no, this isn't what I thought it was. But
As
he
a
also...
Brit, have you seen Naked Attraction?
Describe it to me.
Oh Lord!
no, no, no.
Okay,
Because
so
we have a show where there is a load of naked people lined up and they're behind a door, and then the door slowly rises.
yeah, they're like in the colored boxes.
I've seen the trailers and stuff. I'm not going to watch it because there's a certain point where there's, especially the blokes, you're like, I know I want us to see this. But they have to
So-
judge them on sort of the bit
Yeah.
of their body that they can see. Yeah.
So
yeah,
Naked
we do have
Attraction is exactly what you're describing. Like they're in like boxes, and then you have somebody who's fully clothed with a fully clothed host, and they have to pick
Yeah.
people and like disqualify people based on what they look like. And so the first pick is like you disqualify someone based on their feet up to their genitals, and then you disqualify them from like the chest down, and then you see the
Yeah.
whole body.
Getting
and you
turned down
disqualify
based on your
someone.
balls.
And you
that's
see
gotta
the
hurt.
full thing.
Yeah, you see that there's
Wow.
no censorship because it's the UK. So
Do you remember this was an MTV show, like back when they were experimenting with a bunch of random reality shows? It was called Next, and like you'd walk off the bus and like the person would be like next and be like, wow, like screw you, like they'd be so like hurt by it, like some chubby guy walks off the bus and the girl's like next, or like
I love Naked Attraction though because it's just like, first of all, I didn't realize how many foreskins was super long. Like you could just use them as snack pouches. They're crazy over there on that island.
Foreskin?
And also, apparently the people who want to go on the show, almost all of them, man or woman, have pierced nipples. That is just like incredibly common in the UK, apparently. And I also didn't realize that people on the island would be like, oh, you live like
don't-
20 minutes away. That's too far. I can't date someone that lives 20 minutes away
No,
from me.
okay, that is legitimate. But the pierce bit,
Oh
I
my
think, is
gosh.
probably just more a side effect of the kind of person that would go
Oh,
on
yeah.
that show.
Oh, for
rather
sure.
than it being very common in the UK. But no, the 20 minutes bit, yeah, the Americans would like, it's just down the road. And then you get in, and that road turns out to be 2 hours. You're like, yeah, well, it is technically
Well, in
it's
the
one
UK,
road.
because it's so small, like you want things within
Yeah,
5
down the
minutes.
road means it's the same thing as round the corner. It's a couple of minutes walk, and then you go on a different road. So we have different definitions for things. I remember
Definitely so.
I remember
Naked
growing up-
Attraction, got it. Might watch this just for funsies.
It's a lot of
for
fun.
research.
There's some people who go on there and they like lie. They're like, I'm here for a long-term relationship. It's like, yeah, okay, sure you are, buddy.
Yeah.
There's like old men who will like put whipped cream on the bodies in the boxes and like lick it off and stuff. Like they get kind of wild. There's a guy who had a I think it's Prince Albert is like the dick head piercing, not the ladder. But there was a
Oh.
guy that had like a really thick one of those, and the host was like, "Oh, that looks painful. Like, is it painful?" And he's like, "Nah." And then he just kind of wiggles it out of place. I'm like, "Oh god, it looks so terrible."
This was like, I've
You
not watched
Brits are
it.
insane out
Yeah,
there.
they're
okay.
insane.
Well, there is an
Jesus.
element of because there was a whole like no sex please we're British element of it, everything was more repressed, but that also came out during the entertainment. So if something's repressed publicly, then your entertainment finds it funny. And so we had what was it, all the Carry On movies and everything, you had a prudish environment there, but over in your entertainment it was this, and it just kind of carried on. So as everything relaxed, it stayed ahead of the culture and just kept going. There was no breaks on it.
Oh my god.
So yeah, it's always been kind of ironic that America has been more prudish about this stuff on television than the Brits ever were, even though we were renowned as the prudish nation. It's just standard public, because ours is more, it shouldn't be in the public, but what you do behind closed doors is basically anything. And so entertainment was seen as behind closed doors. So it was
This
allowable.
sounds like Japanese culture or something.
I
They're
think we
insane.
actually have a lot in common with them. I think there's very few cultures that could fit into Japan. I think certain elements, like classes of the English culture, could.
Mountain Mutt, thank you for the $1.99. Demonetized yet? I don't know.
Check. I'm so interested to see.
It looks like we're good. So
Heck yeah.
not yet.
Yay.
Ethan says horrendous. I've never heard of this. Only the Dutch are more degenerate.
Oh, please, the Germans.
I don't
The
want to think
Germans.
about German naked attraction, man.
Oh,
my
gosh.
God.
I'm gonna get a couple of these super chats and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Well, the French did,
Wait, hold
after
on.
MILF Manor came out, France came up with their own version where it was kind of
I've still
in
never
a
watched
hotel, and it was just a load of people banging in a hotel as a reality show.
God,
So the
Milf
French were
Manor
even
was
more.
degenerate. It was
Yeah,
insane.
but the French made something worse almost immediately. It was-
Like, we can one up you Americans.
yeah. And then, well, you know, MILF Manor season 2 was in Canada.
Oh,
Damn, we're
And
degenerate too.
the first episode was pouring Canadian maple syrup over the other person, and then only using yourself to get it into a bottle.
She just looks surprised by that.
What?
And so
That
people
sounds
were
like
like
an
scraping
afternoon
it off,
delight.
or there was one woman that legitimately just spent time licking it off him, and he went, "Are you going to try?" No. And he was like,
She just wanted to lick
I'm
him.
taking advantage of this. The best half an hour of my life was
that doesn't
essentially
even sound
submission.
sexy. Maple syrup is so sticky.
No.
Well,
Food and
True.
sex don't mix very well, in my opinion. Okay.
Whenever people talk about food and sex, I always remember that one meme image of like some guy doing his chick from behind, and he's eating a can of baked beans off of her behind.
Oh,
oh.
yeah. I've never seen that. It sounds awful.
So strange.
Hang on. With reality TV, do you remember Devil's Plan, X-Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting a season 2. And whenever I was watching Devil's Plan, sort of a Korean reality show, the only thing going through my mind is, we're too thick for this.
No,
You
literally,
couldn't have a Western
they
entertainment show like this.
explain the rules of the game, and I go, I think I need to replay this again because I
It
don't
goes on for like
understand.
15 minutes explaining the rules of the game because they're really complex, mind-bending puzzles, essentially. And it's actually, when the game starts, it's really well played out and stuff. But, yeah, if you explain that to most Westerners, they would have no idea.
Free time, you know?
Yeah,
You-
that's how
That's how
women
you dry
wrap up
long
their
hair.
Yeah.
One thing about YouTube is they're not very good with foreign slurs or foreign slang.
'Cause they're
It's-
American.
It's an American thing, so they've just put all the anti-American stuff in, which is why I've always said if I'm ever getting banned, it's going to be talking about cigarettes. That's what's going to do me in eventually.
So what you're saying is I need to learn how to be racist in other languages.
Yes.
But, yes, or with like just general slang. You'll definitely go with slang.
Yeah. It's because there's things that me and X-Ray say that doesn't mean anything to us, and like just will start cracking up, and we're like, "What?" He's like, "It doesn't mean that over here." We're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
it's
like
like,
it's just a normal thing.
Okay.
You
Annie's.
had an American politician called Randy Bumgardner. And I'm like, you should just make him the envoy, like the ambassador to England, and just film it. Just follow it. Just make a documentary about him
the
going around going, hello,
ex-boyfriend?
I'm a Randy Bumgardner. And you're like, wait.
Marmalin for 5. Disprove the dogs are the emergency ration / food. Oh,
It's
for
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like grass fed. It's just
No,
like
they probably eat better than we
roam-free.
do, realistically.
Heavenly Gesture for 5. Hulu is doing a documentary on the 8 Passengers channel from YouTube and the child abuse that happened. I just got an ad for it on YouTube.
That
Oh,
sounds
wow.
familiar.
Yeah, it was.
I have no idea what the 8 Passengers thing is.
It was
I'm not
a
sure I want to
family.
know, given the...
It was a family channel, and there was a lot of this drama, the way they treated the kids and everything. It's I'll probably. Well, I don't have Hulu, but I'll maybe check it out. Jake Stanley for 2. My stupid pizza comment was up way too long. I'm sorry, Jake. Thank you for the 2.
I don't want the attention.
He's like, I put it down. Trevor, thank you for the 5. If you want good pizza in Orlando, try Fratelio's on Colonial. Interesting. Well, the next time I'm in Orlando, I'll give it a look. Thank you. John Thomas has been a member for 12 months. My brother stayed home and homeschooled 3 kids because my sister-in-law made 6 figures. He went back to construction business after they were grown.
Hey, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah, if it makes sense, it makes sense. But I will say, a lot of women's unhappiness nowadays, because women have been told to be the big boss career women, delay your families. And so you have all these articles coming out about women in their 40s and 50s, either decrying the fact that they weren't able to have a family, or they're like, it's almost too late for me, I don't know how to find a man. They want a man that's a provider. They want a man that makes more money than they do. But the amount of men that do, that are in that bracket, are very, very tiny group. And a lot of women who end up... Yeah, and a lot of the women who end up getting into a relationship with a guy who doesn't meet that provider standard, because that's what they've been programmed to do biologically, they end up not respecting that man. And then you get the dead bedroom, and then you get the cheating, and then you get the arguments, and then you get the divorce. And it's like, we've been biologically set to kind of want certain things. And so when that dynamic gets switched up, yeah, it can work for some people. There's obviously a very small minority of women who want to be the provider. There are women who want to be the dominant one. There's men who are effeminate. There's, etc. But for the most part, it's going to cause problems. And we're seeing the result of that laid out before us here.
Yeah, this is why I talk about how most people are instinct. Because you can logically and mentally understand that this is the best thing for you, but if it makes you repulsed on a base level, it doesn't matter. Your actions go off your base instinct, and then you rationalize it afterwards, and come up with reasons for it afterwards. This you see it all the time with women go, it gave me the ick. Well, that's really stupid. It doesn't actually make sense. I know. I still got the ick, though, and so it still influenced their behavior and still controlled them. There's always some kind of reason, generally evolutionary trait, that gives them that thing. And it's a sign that will eat at you over time.
Yeah.
Mongoose, thank you for the 5. Wicked, I just posted the extra clip on Twitter post for the show.
I'll look for it. I'll look for it.
Ooh, I get to see the wine opener.
Yeah. Dimaj, thank you for the 5. Dude sounds like the MC in the anime 100 Girlfriends who really, really love you. LMAO. Anyway, how the hell are y'all doing? We're doing great, Dimaj and I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the 5. Could you read this one? I always read these super chats on my gaming streams. I want to hear Disbrew read it.
McCock for $2. Feeling sad, can I bury my face in Kirsch's chest?
Oh,
are
who the
you
heck is
animated?
Barry?
Because I don't think you can.
Well, what's Barry been doing to it? That's the question.
Yeah, right?
Oh my god.
So,
All right. I do have it.
Okay.
God. It's going to be embarrassing.
Okay, here, I'll show you. I'll try to show you. Alright, so there's a pin. You can see the pin.
Oh.
It is to go. Here, I'll show you. And I'll just do it. It goes inside the bottle.
Yep, you've got to wrap it first.
And it just sits on top of there. And you're supposed to... So what happens is as you open this, and then shoves it in, it pumps air. There I go.
Not supposed to pump air.
With the $10. No,
just randomly racist in the middle for no reason whatsoever.
Sorry.
She's Asian. She can do it.
No. I've never actually opened it.
Oh boy.
I'm
completely oblivious.
No, she's not. Why do you think there was such a long explanation trying to cover for it?
Not what the $10 says, because I can't. It's not coming out.
Well,
yeah.
You're gonna go faster. That's why.
You're gonna change your grip.
No one's ever needed to stabilize it with their legs before.
Hands. It wasn't enough.
Well, press it.
And that was the last time she used that opener.
I just imagine it flying off and hitting the ceiling in a second.
I'm so good at doing this. How does she do it? Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
It popped.
Anyways,
That is the cruelest sounding device I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
hey, next time I'll send you one
Oh boy.
for your next date.
I don't know if I want one of those.
Surely that's not done on dating at the best of times. Like that, there's levels of trust. Like that one specifically.
I don't know. People do one-night stands and they'll go to like BDSM clubs and get tied up by strangers and hit with whips. So like, why not, right? Those
I'm
kind of
still thinking
degenerates.
all of that is. I would accept all of that before you start going down that path. Like surely that is a self. Like at least you know that where you're going with it and when to stop. Somebody else doing it, especially on a date. It's like it's not even.
Horrifying.
I've
They're
seen
not
it
even
done.
used to it at that point. They're just like, hey.
I've seen it done in medical facilities. It does not look pleasant. I don't
Wait.
know why.
These
Wait, can you
doctors, eh?
explain why they would
Yeah.
medically inflate a boopus?
Well, I mean, okay, so there's a procedure that we do in X-ray where we put, a little not a needle, but
She's a professional sounder. They were just finding out.
yes. So you put a device
do this
in
for a
and then you
living.
shoot X-ray dye, and then we see the patency of the urethra on the male. It's just yeah, it doesn't look fun at all.
It doesn't sound fun.
No, and I mean, I see people put, the peeing device. I forgot what it's
Catheter.
called. Catheter in a lot, and it's just never fun for men or women.
Over here on Big Brother, one of the things they did is they started electrocuting people as punishment for doing like getting things wrong in the challenges and stuff. And then they kind of announced, actually, this is just a helpful aid in the bedroom, so to speak. And they were like, this is horrific. And then there was one woman that's like, I'm good. This is I can do this, guys. Send me in there.
That's
It's like,
crazy.
well,
Ian for 50. That's not the standard way to open wine. Thank you,
No.
Ian.
Okay,
No.
you know what? I was sold a lie from that Tug Life. She's like, this is how I open my wine bottles. It's so easy, and I felt like I got a
Can you
workout.
believe that her
like-
name is Tug Life?
I mean, I should have known from her name, but hey, I'm
that just
not
makes it more
an
believable.
expert on tugging, clearly.
All right, I'm gonna grab a couple more super chats and then we'll move on.
I just
to
like
another
that somebody
topic.
looked at the corkscrew and went, no, this is too easy. I need to inflate this with
I know, we
air.
need to make
That'll make
this-
it way better.
Yeah, you need to work out your upper arms when you're opening your wine. Ember, is that how you say cretin or creatine? Because you always say
Creatine.
cretin. Okay, because this brew always says cretin, and I don't know how to spell it, but he just always says it.
No, cretin is a different word.
Yeah,
Okay.
cretin is how we pronounce it here.
Yeah.
Well, I would say creatine, but
Okay.
cretin is an insult. It's a
Yeah, it
specific-
is.
You know,
That's why I'm like-
cretin is an insult, but as an American, we
there's-
pronounce cretin as cretin, which
Yeah.
cretin is different from creatine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But there's too many words go around. Even just
Getting
Brew got
confused.
confused. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that, like, cretin, the way it doesn't have an A in it, so I would have known that was creatine.
It's another
I didn't know there was multiple
cheesesteak
layers.
conversation.
of pronunciation, yeah.
Thank you for the 5. Not only does Kirsche not have pepperoni nipples,
Oh my
she
God.
also just really likes pineapple and is
They got
totally
pineapple
not a
nipples.
swinger.
It's
Now
the
I shall
spikes.
do the Kirsche. Did I say that right? Kirsche? Or is it
Do not
Kirsche?
do the Kirsche. The Kirsche is a
Kirsche.
small woodland critter. It's like my little pet.
Oh.
And when you say do not do, you mean
That was like the
sex?
quacker.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Yeah,
a
for
dance.
some reason, a lot of people in chat really want to
Oh, okay.
have sex
Well,
with the small
Chad,
woodland critter.
Don't do that, Chad.
That
That's
is
not-
disturbing, Chad.
It is
little
disturbing.
Eric Heffelfinger for 10. X-ray girl, the booba hunter.
No, the
Yeah.
boobas come to me. I've never had to hunt the boobas.
Like, they just show up. I don't
the
have to
booba
hunt.
magnet.
Yeah, right?
Kay Bailey, thank you for the 5. This is a public service announcement. Streamers and chat are super mega duper cute and wonderful.
Aw,
Thank you.
Bailey is our wholesome reminder lest we follow the trails of degeneracy too deeply in our rabbit holes.
We needed that refresh. Thank you.
Wait,
I don't even know what rabbit holes
Kat.
refers to anymore.
Guys, I think this is the first time that I maybe not the most degenerate on the panel.
Oh, you know what? I think so.
I mean, it depends on what you mean about degeneracy, because like I don't advocate for it. I just like reading interesting things.
Oh no,
I just like to show it to other people
I
and
just
then
have a
let
potty
them
mouth.
do.
Yeah.
This is like how
Potty
people
mouth.
mention sounding whenever I'm around, because I've read so many articles about men losing things in their urethras, like medical balls
Limbs.
and magnets
Oh,
and wasps.
I like the
mean-
stories of fat people going to hospitals. Because then they're just like, what have they found in their folds?
Exactly.
And then we-
It's a
no,
treasure
no,
hunt.
An actual thing, okay?
Yeah, there was a woman who had like the side of her building removed to get her out because she couldn't fit through the door anymore. They literally got craned her out to go to hospital.
There are people
And
who
they
have
just
to go
listed
to
all the stuff
like-
they found in her folds. And one of them was a clock.
Fair point.
And I don't
What
mean
the
a
fuck?
digital clock. I mean like a wall analog clock was just like, wait.
You know what?
What the fuck?
I'm gonna say this:
Oh my
instant
goodness.
weight loss. She's actually lighter than you thought.
That's true.
I just like, why would she need a clock? It's not as if she was going anywhere. She needs to
She
be on
just didn't know when
time
it was
for
dinner
anything.
time.
Maybe
all
she was
day.
sleeping, it hit the wall, and then the clock fell in her fold, and then just
I mean,
sucked
it
up.
happens. You're just like a human absorption machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was cutlery and all kinds of stuff. That's the thing. Everyone's got this stuff where you put something down, like a screwdriver, it just vanishes. Put a pen down, it just goes. But with her, it just gets absorbed and becomes part of her.
oh my god, she's like a demon monster.
She's like a
that does
Doctor
that.
Who villain.
Yes.
Scott Roch for 20. If we're doing Kirsche knowledge, ask her about her mother.
My mom is a demon. She is unfortunately real. If I gave like a TLDR, my mom would just like leave my brother and I at home all the time for like weeks at a time.
Oh, wow.
And one of those times, she drove to North Carolina and brought a member of the Aryan Brotherhood back home, and it was just like, he's gonna be living with us now. Like, he had swastika tattoos on his chest,
I
and
said no.
yeah, well, I mean, I was a child. I couldn't like, it didn't matter what I said, right?
The swastika
You
tattoos
just
was
like
it around
the
his nipples?
drawings, you know? He'd stop
No,
putting
he
them
had
around
he had a
fridge.
swastika on his chest and another one on his back. He convinced my mom to get both Nazi bolts and a
Oh my
swastika tattoo, so
gosh.
she had a giant swastika like between her tits. It
No,
was,
my
it was
question
really
is,
embarrassing.
Did she leave the house to go meet him, or did she just leave the house and meet him on the way and thought, that's a good
She
bloke?
left the house to go do groceries, and then I guess she ended up going to a bar, and then after getting drunk, she just decided to drive to
Oh,
North
wow.
Carolina, and then she just met
What a
him at a
whim.
bar randomly, I guess fell in love, and was like, yeah, you're coming back home with me. Yeah,
But my
That is
There's
a
a-
wild story.
That
There's a UK comedian called Dave Gorman who can't take his passport with him as ID when he goes for a drink because he ends up in a different country.
insane.
He'll just wake up in a different country. Someone will challenge him and he goes off. This is a guy who traveled the world meeting other people, like I think it was like 1,000 people or 100 people called Dave Gorman because somebody said he couldn't meet a lot of them. And he was like,
That's funny.
bet I can make 100 in a year. Like, yes. If you ever want to be entertained, Dave Gorman's Google Whack adventure is hilarious. And
What
it is
the heck?
him, he tried to do a chain of Google Whacks, and a Google Whack is where you put two words into randomly unassociated real words into Google, and one result comes up. And he's trying to make a chain of, he meets that person, gets them to do a Google Whack, and then he meets the next person, and he wanted a chain of them, and it's just him traveling the world and going bankrupt because he's spending too much money.
That's insane.
He also
Well-
tested, not supernatural, superstition stuff. So he'd have his, what's it called, what your birth date with the planets and stuff. Astrology. He followed his astrology chart for a month and then charted whether he was happier or not based on where it was. To try and scientifically prove astrology.
Interesting. I was gonna start on the Kathleen Kennedy stuff, but wait for X-Ray to get back, so I'll just do a couple more super chats until she gets back. Brave SJ for 5. Oh sure, women give mammograms, it's fine, but when I do it, I'm not a hospital employee and need to leave because the police have been called.
True.
Rufio, thank you for the $4.99. Disprove being British
So
makes
this
him the
is
best of
McDonald's.
us. He also has a superior accent. Fact. I mean, that's why whenever there's something like even semi-dirty in the chat, I'm like, Disparu, read this one because it just sounds fancier when he says it, even if it's degenerate.
I remember Jeremy told me once it was, I want to believe he's correct, even when I know he isn't.
You're British, yeah. It's like you could really, you could probably gaslight people very easily if you wanted to, because if you
just say
it
something
with a
confidently enough.
yes,
they're like, okay.
confidently. Andrew Matthews, thank you for the 2, an actress, so she's fake. Yes, Blake Lively, exactly.
No,
Hire
but
me
that-
to
that's not
voice
what-
act
that's
in
not
your
what that
hentai
super
video
chat-
games.
that's not what that super chat said.
A good.
You're gonna have
good
to read
O.
the actual super
Oh,
chat.
the end. I thought that was a typo. The good.
No,
O at
no,
the end.
she's an actress, so she fakes a good L. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
that was a
that
very
was-
different super chat.
Sorry, thank you for catching that right over my head.
It's like, why is Ryan Reynolds so happy in his marriage? Well, she's an actress.
Gary Thomas for 5. Don't worry, Kirsche. Mr. Watanabe makes $8K per month as an influencer now, and he just welcomed his 11th child. Don't ask me with which wife.
Well, he has a long way to go if he wants 50-something children, and he's only on 11, I gotta say that. But also, 8K a month, god damn!
You need more wives.
That's an.
He has the
that's
easy
insane.
job. The world record for a woman was like 84 or something, and she had to
Oh
do
my
it
god,
all
that's
herself.
crazy.
The man is 87. That one guy from the 1700s. He had 87 kids in like 20, 30 years.
I feel like if you popped
Insane.
out 80
Dang
kids, you no
it,
longer
son.
have a womb, you have a parking garage, you know?
Yeah.
They
Just walking
spend
out at that point.
progressively longer bungee jumping. Just brace. You breed mountain climbers at that point. They're just bracing themselves.
Oh my god. So, Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plans. She is not soon retiring, and the films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. All right, well, let's look at the article.
Yeah, I think her actual statement is better because she essentially says, "You'll pry movies out of my cold, dead hands."
Wow.
Jesus
So
Christ, she
I'm gonna
sounds
be
like a
rude.
No,
villain.
she does.
She sounds awful. She's gonna be. Well, we already know that. She's
think
gonna
she
be
literally
ruining
says,
movies
"I
until
will-
she dies.
Yeah, I will make movies until I die. As like, that is a threat.
Yeah.
Hey, why is she threatening us? What did we do?
You know, she's like, "You want good movies? Not while I'm alive." Okay, so this is what she said. The truth. Oh, let me highlight for Disparu. No, it's for the
For
chat.
the chat,
I know.
so they know why
I
you're
know.
reading.
The truth is,
Oh,
here, I'll zoom in. Here we
Yeah,
go.
Gary might be watching. I like how you zoomed in and then it changed where it was on the screen and the text isn't actually larger. It
I
just got rid of
hate
the
when
white
websites
space.
I
do
hate
that, man.
I hate that.
I hate
The
Deadline
truth
and
is-
Variety for that.
Oh, they're awful.
Hollywood Reporter, you highlight it, you go to the top of the page.
I
It's
know
awful.
they're all like, you know what? We know Disparu's gonna use this on a video. Let's.
My favorite is on FNT. And I never know who's sharing the article. And then when Hollywood Reporter, you'll hear Quote Black goes, "Ah, damn it!" And it's like, okay, you're the one highlighting that one.
So the truth is, and I just want to say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That is the first thing that's important to say. I am not retiring. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with Bob and Alan about. I'm an awful highlighter, sorry. What
The
eventual
Alanin.
succession, now it changed colors, okay, might look
I'm
like.
talking from Alan from Film Threat.
We have an amazing bunch of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement. Months later, or a year down the road, we are
That's
in
not
lockstep
a
as-
large. Like normally you'd be like, months or years. No, this is like months or a year. So between 6 and 12 is where we can expect it.
I like the way you say
There's
yeah.
blue again.
So
Yeah.
I always like,
Yeah.
I don't have an accent. This is just how things sound when they're pronounced properly.
No, you have everyone has an accent, okay?
This
Everyone.
fucking
No,
guy trying
no.
to talk about talking properly. At least I admit my Boston accent is a debuff, man. Come on.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking in.
We are in lockstep as to what's going to be, and I am continuing. I'm producing the Mandalorian movie right now, and I'm also producing Sean Levy's movie, which is after that. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm and looking very thoughtful with Bob and Alan as to who's stepping in. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make the announcement when we want to make it. Okay, Kathleen.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
Really
like,
told us.
the announcement about her retiring, it's like, what does that even mean? There's no date, there's no information. It's like when someone in a relationship says, I'm going to change. Okay.
Yeah, I believe
totally
you.
get it. And then
Sure,
they
I
don't.
believe you. Yeah.
So, and they totally did that.
Yeah. Oh, it
I
was
just like how she's listing projects that will fail in the near future. She's like, I'm on The Mandalorian, I'm on this.
So
I've
basically,
already
I'm
told
seeing
Alan
a,
he's
don't watch
prepared.
this, don't watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So she's not going anywhere, and we all kind of called that. Like, people made videos, but they knew. Even people making video. Sorry, she'll die or kill us all. Exactly.
She's trying to kill us of boredom.
Yeah, no, but seriously. So she's gonna continue to stay on and ruin more of our beloved franchises.
What's crazy
She
Well,
has to
it's
create the
expo.
modern audience, don't you know?
Yeah.
She worked on projects that were actually good. So it's like, it's so sad to see it where it is now. And where her
Barbara
work.
Oh, here,
Barbara
there's one more.
Broccoli also worked on projects that were good when she was in Bond, and then she took over and Bond went downhill.
Sorry, what
There
the
is an
fuck
element
did
of you
say?
could just be on a project,
He said, what
and
did
somebody
she, what did
goes,
she just say?
no.
Fucking Barbara
Barbara-
Broccoli.
That's her name.
Yeah, Barbara Brock, she's in charge of the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
Gary went, her name
Barbara
is...
should meet Mr. Spaghetti.
Gary went, her name is...
Barbara and Joey would live a happy life.
Gary went, her name is Broccoli. I looked it up. I'm like, no, that's what she wants you to think it is.
It's
She is
broccoli.
the bucket woman off Keeping Up Appearances. Like, it's
Oh my
bouquet,
God.
not bucket. It's like, no, it's definitely broccoli.
So another just little piece of this Kathleen Kennedy stuff is Disney Star Wars succession problem. Who will replace Kathleen Kennedy, you know, when she goes away in like 20 years, because she's probably like an android or something. Favreau, Filoni, or Feige. Here's what insiders are saying about who will and should become Disney's new Star Wars emperor. There is no credible alternative. What do you guys think? Like, out of, if these are the only three choices.
I love
Oh my
that, though.
gosh, see, you did it. Sorry,
Yeah,
Hollywood
you
Reporter.
have to start highlighting and scroll at the same time. It's the only way that you'll
That's
even
too
stop
much.
it.
That's too much. I'm
but
sorry,
like-
chat. Okay.
There is no credible alternative when Star Wars has been failing for decades. Just means everybody's ass. We're just full of
Yeah.
terrible employees.
I don't know who they could bring on, because the thing is, it's gotten ruined. The problem with what they did with Star Wars, instead of like,
Drag the nearest homeless alcoholic off the street, put him in a suit, and let him
He
do
might
whatever
do
he
better.
wants. He will.
Yeah.
No, he will do better. He's definitely seen Star Wars,
Because he will do
and
nothing
he's already
at
off
that
his
rate.
face.
And it's better.
Like this is not a high bar. Or the only thing
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
do now is not lose billions of dollars.
yeah.
You know what? Just continue making merch and sell classic merch and put these away and don't touch anything for many years.
That's true. But it's crazy to me that they don't, like, at the parks. I live in Florida. I've been to, you know, the Galaxy's Edge. They don't have, like, you would think the R2-D2 would be going around. Like, Chewie is the only old character. Like, they don't have. They should have Leia and Han Solo and Luke Skywalker walking around. Like, the Ewoks, kids would love that. Get little Ewoks walking around. But they have the new
issue-
characters, and that's what they push, and nobody wants that.
The
You
issue
see
with
Rey walking around,
R2-D2
cool.
The issue with R2-D2 is they need to hire a midget to put into the machine, and Warwick Davis isn't available anymore.
Well, they
So
could have, they could just
Disney
have-
doesn't like hiring them.
A lot of people actually have like ones that you can control. Like they can just have like an actual just little robot going
Just
around.
give a little guy a job. Like we don't need to replace
Isn't
them
this
Isn't
with
this part of the
machines.
inclusion that they keep speaking of?
Well, have you heard what Snow White is doing now? Snow White actually published the cast list of the dwarves, and they're all midgets.
Hi, Mike.
So
could have
now
They were
essentially
midgets
what they've
before
done.
because I guess that guy from Game of Thrones was just like, no, this is offensive. We can't have this. But it's like, why do you want to take jobs away from other
pulled
small
up-
people?
Well, that's
dude?
the
he
thing.
pulled up the
What they
ladder
were-
behind him. He was like, "Nope, there can only be me, no one else."
the
pulled up
step
that
ladder.
step
Yeah,
ladder.
but they've now got to the worst possible scenario because you had dwarves that could have been cast with dwarf actors, but you didn't. You CGI'd them and then hired them anyway. So the only thing you can go is you just didn't want their face in your movie. You were like,
Oh
we
my
can't
God.
actually see them. That's too horrific. We have to CGI over their ugly mugs, but just so nobody knows that we've hired them. They
Yeah.
That's bad.
outwoked themselves into the worst scenario.
Yeah, they should have
was
just
like-
gotten 7 little people.
There's the woke wars. Okay, got it.
I was about to
Woke
say, like,
wars.
as someone who doesn't watch anything, if somebody asked me, like, oh, who do you want to do the new movies, like Favreau, Filoni, or Feige, I'd be like, what Italian restaurant are we going to tonight? Like, what are these dishes you're reading off to me?
Feige.
I don't know what's happening.
Is that a pasta dish?
Yeah,
The
right?
issue is that Hollywood doesn't have like a new generation of people that they've been creating. It used to be the moment like a hot actress got to 28, she'd be replaced by a new 21-year-old. So there was always somebody that you could have that you knew was coming through the ranks.
Yeah, now women are either doing YouTube or OnlyFans.
Well, they really like putting 50-year-olds into roles that should be given to 23-year-olds. They dress the same, just nobody wants them to. Whereas the action stars, they're still the same action stars that were when I was a kid. We've got to the point where Bruce Willis just can't read lines anymore because he's been reading them for so long. Like, no, this is horrific. All of those people are sort of aging out of the category. No one's replacing them. So when people are like, well, everyone's Zendaya is in every movie. But yet they have no one else. They didn't bring up the new generation because there was all the whole, actually, no, we can't hire hot young actresses anymore. We need to hire older ones. So they just kept them and aged them through and never thought ahead to the point where, what happens now?
That's actually a good question because as someone who doesn't pay too much attention, I wonder why they weren't getting younger actors and actresses because like you do need that, especially if you're trying to create a modern audience. You're going to need people to replace the actors and actresses once they age out, and you need people to play younger roles.
It was the other side of the diversity coin. So it wasn't just like racially, it was also it used to be that you would just age out and get very few roles as you aged up through the categories. And they were like, well, that's unfair. Now there's a disparagement, there's a difference between the group. That's ageist. And so
these people's narcissism has like killed their own industry. It's kind of ironic.
Yes, but they got away with millions, and so
oh yeah, for sure.
I think maybe we can bring a part of it as like bringing new people in where we have these actors and actresses that have done well so far, and we've seen it time and time again where they don't have like new ideas. That could be a reason, maybe, that they have stuck with some of these older actors and actresses. Whether that is true or not, no idea. I'm just putting out a theory, maybe. And people who are they're putting out a limb for end up being influencer types. People who already have a following, not just a nobody. They don't go for nobodies anymore.
Even the influencer types is weird though, because whenever I hear, oh, there's an influencer going into acting, they're always TikTok people.
Because they have a following.
Yeah, but it's like a TikTok subscriber isn't the same as YouTube one. You can get millions on TikTok and nobody know who you are because it's a very closed demographic. And yet I think Hollywood has a habit of just seeing a number and they just think everyone's equal, no matter what platform it is. Someone in Instagram is the same as someone on TikTok. Short subscriber is the same as a long form subscriber. And so they just see a huge number and put them in there and then nobody knows who they are. Every time I've seen a TikTok person in a movie, I don't know who they are. Never appeared in my world at all.
The audience who's watching these movies tend to be older people, so it seems like the wrong platform of influencer to grab from.
I'm just not sure there is a good platform. There's some work. So you had Five Nights at Freddy's, and they got game YouTubers. That worked because it's the same category. But otherwise, there are 10, 15, 30 million subscriber channels I've never heard of. Because if you're not in that group, you can't just pick them and go, well, 30 million people know this person. They can be in a movie. It's like, no, it's a niche.
Well, it's like even if you have like a large following and you have a niche with some sort of content, that doesn't necessarily mean you'd be able to translate that into acting skill either, right? So just hiring a YouTuber because they have a large platform and they might like play horror games or do cooking reviews or whatever doesn't mean that they would be someone who'd be able to act in a movie that's related to that. I mean, you saw the whole thing with like Yongya, or however you pronounce his name, doing voice acting for Kiryu in Yakuza. And so many people were upset with that because he didn't fit the part. He didn't sound like the character. He had no emotional delivery. And so it's just like, why did they hire someone just because they were a YouTuber with a lot of viewers or a lot of subscribers?
Especially if you watch even his YouTube videos, they don't strike you as particularly emotionally enthralling. Everything, it's reading the news. It's a news report of what's happening in the industry. It's hardly.
And it's like I'm not trying to like disparage the guy either, but it's like it's bad for both the YouTuber and for the people producing the movie, because your movie is going to like get worse views. The YouTuber is going to get a lot of backlash. They're going to get a lot of hate for not being able to fit into the part. Same with the voice acting. And so it's just like a clusterfuck all around.
Well, it was more with me that it was an odd decision. Like, you don't watch his videos. It's not a performative channel. There are some, the people that do comedy sketches, I imagine they'd be good actors because they're doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
There used to be a comedy sketch show over here, actually. I think it was called Monkey Dust, and one of the sketches was a news reporter who all of his things were just read like this because you're not supposed to have any emotion. And it'd be him going through his life, and so he'd be like in bed with somebody, and it'd just be, yes, that's amazing.
Oh,
this
God.
is the best moment of my entire life.
How
And
terrible.
it was just
Sure.
everything was
Very
monotone.
just
He narrated his entire life in a
Monotone.
monotone newsreader report. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So I got what you posted in the private chat, Kirsche, of the Gene Hackman's 911 call. Let's check that out. Yours is better than the YouTube one I found.
Okay.
But yeah, that's super sad. It's always like, it's kind of like, it made me think of the Brittany Murphy thing, even though her and her husband weren't found at the same time, but it was only a few months apart. It's just insane when that happens. But this, did they actually, it says, never mind, it says right here, the cause of death has not yet been released. So I know people were saying maybe like carbon monoxide and stuff.
No,
but,
carbon monoxide has been ruled out.
oh,
Yeah,
it was
they,
ruled
they
out.
did rule
Okay.
that out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that makes it even stranger. Something like that would, you can explain that, but okay, now it's even weirder.
And when it says mummified, that is all the moisture from the body is gone. That's a long time. That
Yeah,
doesn't just-
yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't know that. So actor Gene Hackman's German Shepherd was found, the dog too, I forgot about that, deceased in a bathroom closet about 15 feet from his wife's mummified body, according to news reports.
Wasn't there
News
another
reports.
dog though? I think there was another dog just walking around.
No, there
fine.
were multiple dogs on the property.
Oh.
To my knowledge, I think there were 3, and they said that the outside dog was still alive, and there was another dog inside that was still alive, but the German Shepherd was found deceased.
Because even that surprising. It's like the dog got water, presumably inside. The outside one you can kind of understand. Maybe it'd revert to getting food or whatever from outside, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so. Oh, go ahead. Are you going to say something?
I was going to say the reason that they probably had water somewhere around in a bowl, and I mean we don't know how
Toilets and stuff too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the circumstances surrounding the death of the 2 deceased individuals to be suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Hackman's body was located in the mudroom and appeared that he had suddenly fallen. Okay, so I wonder if he had just so a mudroom is kind of like a
It's the entrance.
like an
Yeah.
entrance room, like where people will take off their shoes.
we call it
and...
a hallway.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
not everyone calls it that in America, but like I know, like I had cousins that lived in the country, and they,
This will be a house size thing. What you have
Yeah,
huge houses, and
house.
so you
Yeah.
could actually have a separate room for your
Yeah.
entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a separate
Yeah,
room for our
entry hall, yeah.
entryways. Yeah.
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 Or foyer.
We're
yes,
just, we're just
that thing.
flexing on us. We can put our mud in a room. That's what.
Yes, he had a whole room full of mud. So okay, the cause of death has not yet been released, but here is, let me turn it up, the 911 call.
Are you with the patient now?
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at their property. There's no address here. So I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
That's weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the gatehouse. Yeah, I never heard
Looks
that
like-
before.
Okay.
There's no-
How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here.
Probably. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to assume.
Yeah. So he-
Like, wait.
so-
I mean, they've been dead
Aren't
for
they
ages,
California,
right?
too?
So,
Well, did he like walk into and just find Gene Hackman, right? Like in the entrance, the mudroom, and did
Yeah.
he not
well, it
find
said
her
male
yet?
and female, so
Oh,
well,
okay. So he might have.
He knew there were both of them, and even just looking at their pictures, you're not going to get it wrong no matter what kind of state they're in. Just
well, I
from
mean,
the hair
to
alone.
be fair, he's also probably panicking, right? We don't
Yeah.
exactly think logically when we're in a state of
He's
like
like,
panic.
"Look, I haven't checked, all right."
He's like,
Well,
I didn't check for a
I'm
pulse
probably not going to
here.
be especially articulate when I find 2 bloated dead bodies. All right, okay.
Most
It's
people
like, I
don't
haven't
see dead
looked around the
bodies in
house
their
for
lifetime.
like pronoun name tags. I can't
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
You can't offend them by using the wrong pronouns because they're also
they might come back
deceased.
to life just to
God.
get revenge.
Just
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Okay. Okay. they appear to be completely awake.
Oh my god, this
On the
911
way-
operator! I want to hit him with a pan.
I know. I'm saying like he's literally calling like yeah they're laying down. So are they like awake and laying down?
Send someone
or-
already! Holy shit!
Do they appear to be awake or alert?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Poor guy. He was a caretaker, probably for their property or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you hear them talk or cry?
Oh my
Who-
god.
This
This guy
911
needs better
operator,
training.
What?
This guy needs to be fired. This is not his line of work, man.
No.
No.
Okay. Okay. Are they moving at all?
Oh my
God.
We can just send somebody out here really quick.
Okay, my
It's like sounds like he's about to start crying. The poor guy.
Yeah, right. He's
So-
like, please, just send someone. I swear to God.
Have they
He probably
moved?
did call
Are they
someone at the start of the
Well, yeah, I'm
conversation.
sure someone's on the way, but the questions he's asking, like, what you should really be doing is be like, okay, just stay on the phone with me, stay calm. You should be trying to calm him down. And like, so are they like breathing? Did one sneeze? Did you see
Well,
anyone
well, yeah,
blink? Like,
because-
he's asking the dumbest questions.
I
Well,
wanted to underway,
one of the
okay?
issues is, like, essentially with the decline of IQ across the country, people will just answer the question.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you're like,
the
are they
decline
con-
of IQ, the competency crisis, and also the lack of being able to speak English fluently, because both of them sounded like they had accents, right? So, like, the
Yeah.
911 operator might not be English first language, and he's just reading from a script.
Well, if you
Yeah.
ask someone, do they seem to be awake? And he's like, I don't know. Like, well, is he making noise? Because you don't know whether they can make the logical leap. They might just literally take your question as it is and just answer yes and no. And so he's like, okay, well, are they breathing? Do you have to make noise? Have you seen their eyes blink? Because otherwise, you'd be like, well, they're clearly awake, their eyes moved. Well, you didn't ask about my eyes. You asked if they made noise. So they have to spell everything out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just the way, I don't know. It seemed like he should have, like, once he's like, listen, they're just like, but yeah, the guy also is in shock, you know, but he should have just been maybe trying to calm the guy down and say, okay, well, units are on the way, because there's nothing he could do. He's like, they're just laying there, you know, so he can't really, like, go in and help, I don't think, because he probably, like, the caretaker was, like, around their property, can't go in.
Doesn't have key.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
there's nothing he could do, so it's like, in that situation, you
just
just gotta
me
try and
if-
keep him calm.
If I went round, like, if I was someone's caretaker and I saw them dead in the ground, I would smash the window and go inside.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I
That
can't
sounds
enter, that's
awful.
against the law.
But you could also get in trouble that way, like, right? Like, okay, did you break in it? Like, if it was foul
Contaminating
play,
the crime scene,
yeah,
possibly.
contaminating the crime scene, and also if it was foul play, his fingerprints could be on. They could think that he did it. You know what I mean?
Well, and then
I
there
don't
could
think
have
that
been
would even cross
fingerprints
my
on the
mind.
thing he broke.
Yeah, no,
Also
you're right.
true.
Like, you're thinking, like, logically, like, as a person, like, this is somebody I care about, right? Like, if it was somebody who I was, like, family members with, of course, I'm breaking that door down and I'm getting in there somehow. But he's a caretaker. He works for them.
I
might even-
think the only way you could get in is if you see them struggling.
Yeah, that too.
And
Yeah,
he
for
didn't see them
sure.
struggling. They're laying there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If they were struggling, he definitely, you would think logically should have broken. But
Plus,
yeah,
if
if they're
they've been
laying
dead
there
in
and
there
they're,
for multiple weeks, you break that window, that
Oh my-
scent is gonna hit you like a
Oh.
brick wall.
oh yeah, for sure. He probably was. He didn't know what to do. He was just terrified. And Ian for 50. I had coffee with my dad today, and his only question about the Hackman story was, "I've a mud room."
Oh
Yeah.
my, that's like everyone's question.
That's what
I've
I
had to
mean, like, it's
explain
just-
mudrooms so
We-
many
we-
times.
Yeah, we don't
it's
have
just
them
a
over here.
hallway.
Like-
It's just a hallway, but like especially like I said, like if you're in the country or you have a big house, there's people who have it because like muddy, like when you're
Yeah, he has like a
surrounded
mud
by
villa
nature.
because he's
It's,
that
it's where you
rich.
take
Yeah.
off like your outside clothes and your shoes, and you like hang them
Yeah.
up
There's
in
a
there.
closet for your
People-
jacket.
People
Yeah.
that live, yeah, people that live like in a city aren't used to that, right? Because they're not surrounded by like
Space.
mud. Yeah, exactly. But
Well,
so
yeah,
it's
it
just
showed
the
when
hallway.
Kirsche said so your outside clothes. Made
Yeah.
it sound like, no, I have a clothes that I wear outside. Then I come in. I have
literally
Like
it,
your
though.
jacket or like your work overalls,
Yeah,
or like
don't
if you
get
have
to-
like if you're a farmer and you have like the big boots that you wade around in like cow manure with, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Just for don't get him started on outside and inside clothes. Like we had a whole
Wait,
thing
wait, sorry,
about pajamas because
like
he thinks
the
pajamas are
height.
useless. He does not like
This is a
pajamas.
different class for me when you have an entirely different set of clothes that you go outside and like, no, I'm gonna change into my secondary clothes. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, he went on a whole rant about pajamas before. So
What do you got against
Did I can't
pajamas?
even remember that. I've actually watched videos back. I'm like, no, that's based. I didn't think of it that way. And it was me. And I'm like, well, at least I've even had things where I've watched a video or something. Oh no, recently I was trying to make an account for something, and it came up with like, you need to give this thing a
Mr.
name.
Rogers.
And I typed it, and then I eventually found I'd already logged into this thing, already created an account, and I gave it the same pissing name that I did this time. And it was a really random string of things that I came up with twice in the same scenario. Like, well, at least I'm consistent.
True.
This brew is very consistent. If you give him anything,
It was a
that's
logical
what it
answer, but it was a logical random thing. Like, well,
yeah, so that's, I wonder what we're going to hear about that. Isn't it crazy that I mean, we can say with Michelle Trachtenberg that it's most likely was because of her liver issues, if it does come out. But with Gene Hackman, I'm very interested. I don't know. Do you think we're ever going to find out, though? Like, they might just keep it under wraps?
Maybe. It depends on the family. And
I mean,
it's
I would
being
hope so,
investigated.
but also we still don't know anything about the Vegas shooting, so like maybe they'll just keep this under wraps.
That's what I mean. Like, there's
with
a lot.
her, with the other one, they can turn down an autopsy because it wasn't suspicious. This is suspicious because it's two people.
Yeah,
and a dog.
so-
the dogs.
Well, the dog probably died because he was locked in a room, so he couldn't
Yeah,
have
but who
access
locked
to
him
it.
in the
water.
room? Why was he locked in?
The
It was a
closet.
closet.
The closet.
Yeah, it was a closet.
Locked can mean I went in, the door closed, and he couldn't get out.
I mean,
So
some
it's not
closets
necessarily-
are so
auto
fancy,
locks
they
on
probably
them.
auto close.
No,
Yeah,
but
that's-
you
yeah.
just like it could just be a mistake of like casual language. He was
I mean,
locked in the
maybe,
room
yeah.
just means he couldn't get out of the room because it's a dog.
And I mean, dogs
Um,
don't have thumbs.
And the thing
That
is,
was
I think
ruled out. Carbon
I think
monoxide.
like carbon monoxide could take out both of them, yeah, but as that's ruled out
But
specifically.
there was a
another one
dog
was,
was
there was
alive.
I think that it said there was pills on the floor.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
I can't remember who said it or whether it was on FNT or someone else I heard. But they said essentially it could be that one of them died and the other was like, I just don't want to be around if you're not.
Oh.
There were
that-
pills on the floor, and then when they found her body, there was a like heating fan placed at her head.
Oh.
So you think maybe she passed and then Gene Hackman was just like, I
he,
can't.
He was trying to keep her warm for as long as possible and then, yeah.
Oh,
like things like
wow.
that is probably the most likely.
Logical.
Yeah.
Because it said there was
That's
no
so
signs of sort of
sad.
external wounds or anything, so it's unlikely that it was robbery, whatever.
That's so sad. If it goes
That's
that route, like,
tragic.
yeah,
But
very.
because of that suspicion, they will have to get to the bottom of what the cause was.
Yeah, they got us. Yeah, wow. I'm gonna get to a couple super chats, then we'll talk about the. I find this story kind of funny about Rachel Zegler views Snow White backlash as people's passion for the character. Yeah, and you. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm like an hour behind on some of these. I'm so sorry, guys. Sly Rye, thank you for the 5. Just don't call her Porsche. Like
Porsche.
Porsche, like Porsche. And whatever you do, don't call the Porsche. Really cool to see all of you on the same stream. Thank you.
She'll learn one day.
Porsche.
That was
sorry.
Gary levels of reading comprehension.
Oh.
That was impressive.
You just learned how to read it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
Porsche.
Like you
I know,
stumbled
I
over
know,
the word that
Porsche,
you
of
just
course.
asked. How do you pronounce it? It was like.
I know.
Of course you know how to
Kirsche,
say it.
But
Of
yeah,
course.
it's okay. Of course. Bruce Monster for 5. You've never heard of Hungry Howie's? They have a lot of Florida locations.
Never heard of that.
No, I've never heard of it. I've only been in Florida for a couple of years, and I don't live in the Orlando area. So if it's like, I don't know a lot of the stuff over there. Iris, thank you for the $9.99. Disbrew mentioned K-drama recommendations. My favorites are Goblin, My Mister, and 2521. I love how every time someone does, like, you could see him typing it in,
Yeah.
like he takes
Yeah,
the recommendation.
Goblin is like
I open up a
Old
tab.
school, though. Like, I heard about that back in university, so I believe.
I've never heard of it.
Very dramatic.
Well, look it up, Disbrew. Thank you, Iris. Schick74 for $4.99 says, I can't take an avatar with jiggled physics talking politics seriously.
I
What
mean,
do you
same. I
mean?
can't take a flesh person with jiggle physics seriously when they talk about politics.
Right.
Yeah, isn't that what
The
they,
chief
flesh-
humans.
Don't they call them flesh tubers? Which
Yeah,
sounds
I
horrific.
like the term flesh tubers because it gives the good dynamic between like you guys have real flesh and we have virtual skin, you know?
V-tubes and flesh. That's funny. I've never heard that. I like that.
It's like in the Old Republic, the robot used to call everyone meat bags or meat sacks. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure these recommendations are up my street, or I think all 3 of them are romance K-dramas.
Yeah, Goblin is
K-drama,
very
though?
romance.
Yeah,
It's a
Goblin,
romance in your
25, 21, they're
K-drama.
both that, and then My Mister is drama, soap opera, psychological thriller, and psychological fiction. Don't mind that one.
Okay. Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. Disney's chief human also coaches Mark Zuckerberg, apparently.
He's not doing a very good job.
Zuckerberg's interesting because he's recently come out and gone that he thinks Meta needs more masculine energy, and that there's been too much biasing towards femininity across the entire tech industry and society, and
He's copying Elon.
Yeah, I just don't believe him. I think he just knows that the new administration is who's going to butter his biscuits, so he's going to have to capitulate to whatever he feels like they want to hear.
It's one of those things, though, where I'm not sure it matters whether he agrees or not, as long as he follows through with the action. You've already seen that essentially the people being hired into the company change the company. So even if you don't really have any values, as long as you're hiring those people, they will change your company anyway.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. Like I mean, I agree with you. I just think that he's not someone to be trusted because that is like he's a fair weather friend, as it were.
Yes, but then you just have to keep winning, and it doesn't matter whether they're with you loyally or because you're in power, as long as you remain in power.
Fair.
Jake Stanley, thank you for the 5. This stream is perfect for folks that want to turn off their attention and just tune back in when something mildly important happens. And cheers.
Yeah. Every
Thank
time
you.
Kirsche jumps up and down.
Yes, that's the
You
most
know,
important part.
you've made it when people are using you as their Family Guy stand-in. You know, like everybody just turns on Family Guy when they go to have sex. So if you've made it to that point in
I've
time,
never heard of this before.
really,
Seriously?
really,
Yeah.
Listen, everything is a thing.
Or The
Family Guy
Office.
seems like the least erotic thing that could
well,
possibly
yeah, it's not
be on the
supposed to be
television.
erotic. You just turn it on, you lower the volume, and it's just something that's like in the background, you know, so
It's just
people hear
on.
you less, right?
It's not, no. During that, the last thing I want to hear is male voices in the room. That is disturbing.
You don't
At
want to
least
hear
make it
Peter
consistent.
Griffin while you're doing the deed?
Guys, does anyone ever put a YouTube video on and then do the nasty? Just
No.
curious. One's in the chat if you have.
Now I'm scared to look at the chat.
I
I'm going to
just-
stay
for
over
now.
here in the super
Just
chats
look
for a
up
minute.
X-rays like YouTube
They're gonna do one for
history, and we'll
YouTube
find
video,
out
2
something.
for Family Guy.
Oh my god.
Surely,
Oh, God.
if you put on Mauler, is that a flex? You're like, look,
No,
I
no,
need
0.
7 hours for this one, all right? This is gonna be a long one.
If you really want to get into the cursed fox zoo, ask her about sounding.
We
The
heard
cursed
that
fox zoo.
already.
I'm behind. Heal
That's not-
for 5.
That's probably got a different term.
Kirsche_EN is just talking about her favorite stream alert now. This was from an hour ago. I'm
Yeah,
so
I don't
sorry.
remember what the alert was.
I'm not gonna catch up. I'm so sorry.
It was probably about like what was it, like dentist daddy or something. There was
maybe.
some kind of
Something
thing
like
where you're
that.
like there's two difference in terms. Like we say it this way, you say it this way, and everyone's about flirting. Something like that.
Ooh. And then I got turned on.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Nightmare for 2. I want to hear about the eels and nail salon again. What's that?
I don't
Oh,
know
I
if I should
think
tell that story.
I think it was
I don't
yummy.
know.
I think it was well known.
Oh, that yummy probably.
Yeah.
Jim Farm for $49.99.
You're like, it's yummy. Oh, yummy.
Yummy. Hello, y'all. Desk Ketchum versus Desk
Ketchup.
Milk.
Probably.
Probably might ketchup. Yeah, maybe.
I feel like you shouldn't leave milk on your desk. That shouldn't be room temp. But yeah, I do have my bottle of ketchup here. You know, it's
I wish
Oh,
I
so
had.
she's
I said
got
I was gonna
ketchup.
get ketchup, but I could do this.
And this brew has milk. Yeah, that's the
Well,
lore.
I
This
don't
brew
have
has-
milk at the I've drank the milk.
He drank the milk, but he has desk milk sometimes. He just leaves it there for a little bit.
Wait,
But then it gets
Kirsche, do you
warm
want to
and
hear
warm
me
milk is
drink
great.
water?
Look,
Oh
what
yeah,
do you
let's
mean by this?
Here, wait. Let's just. It's actually disturbingly loud.
What the?
did you not notice it? Like, I didn't say anything, but earlier in the episode, she kind of just went off thing, and you just
Yeah.
heard her swallow
You
randomly.
can still hear it.
And-
She tried to like turn and swallow, but
She was-
That's
she was
actually
over
kind of
here and the
impressive.
mic
You make
was
like
here,
cartoon drinking noises.
She does. She does.
For
'Cause
some
there,
reason,
like, this
and I don't
brew
know,
was
like-
on like
I don't
a
know whether it's a
rant.
flex. She points the mic at her throat. It's
But
really.
even when she's away from it, you hear it. So this brew was on a rant, and she took a sip, and he was like, what's the X-ray girl? And she's like, wait, you heard that? Like,
Everyone hears this, yeah.
the chat was
Like,
like,
got
yes,
the
we heard
iron
it.
gripper.
Oh,
Me Joe Skyver, did I say that right? For
I'm Joe
two.
Skyver.
I'm Joe Skyver. Oh,
Oh,
X-ray
this
girl was
happened on
doing
our Big
model
Brother.
sounding on stream.
Unironically, this
Oh,
happened on our Big Brother, UK Big Brother. This woman came in, obviously, it'd be weird if it was a bloke, but they had champagne, and she put the bottle on the ground and just squat on it. That's what
Whoa.
happens in our Big Brother. It's very
Ew.
different than the American one.
M. Joe Skyver for two. X-ray gulp. It's like a big gulp from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But X-ray, it's what it sounds
is.
like. It is.
That makes
How
me
I
think about the
swallow
Russian
eggs.
bodybuilder lady who
Would
could
it
like
be weird
lift
to have
30
an
pounds
emotive
with just her vaginal muscles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dang.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
We need to fire ping pong balls, see if you can get the record.
Nightmare for two. Coolest sounding device, Kirsche.
There are no cool sounding devices because sounding is degenerate, and I hope if you do it, you end up at the hospital and I get to read about you on stream.
Give me a
pool
story to
cue.
read.
Like a pool cue, you can do it from like across the room.
Jesus.
Avian 0 for two. Bad Cretan Kirsche is only for pet. Also, there's an Avlurk.
There's Avanark, a lurk. He's trying to be British.
Okay.
Also, it's 5. That's a
Evel-
5.
I got it.
I didn't. She went, he's gonna be in Britain. Like, what?
Say have a lurk, but in your
Have a look.
Have a lurk.
Yeah.
You mean have a look?
Lurk.
No.
Lurk.
Lurk.
Like lurking.
Lurky turkey.
Have a look.
Have a
L-U-R-K.
lurk. I don't know. I can't do it.
There's no way you've been on streams for this long and you don't know what a lurk is.
No, I know what lurking is, but it's the way that it was said doesn't mean like have a lurk.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
have a lurk. Like he's lurking. He's saying have my lurk. I'm lurking.
No,
your
it was the
stream.
way everyone was
Yes.
pronouncing it though. Is what's confusing me. It's like
He was trying
as
to
if there's a-
pronounce it like he's
It's always got me
British.
when people go, "Oh, bottle of
Have a
water."
look.
It's like you mean
A
a
bottle
bottle
of
of
water?
water. Yeah, a bottle of
No
water.
water.
I know.
You're
Like,
supposed to be an expert
the
on this
British
language, Disparu. I'm
yes, this
like
is what
unimpressed.
I mean. The Americans, for some reason, don't understand what English sounds like.
Well,
Like, a
you
bottle
guys
of
have
water.
some crazy
Like, that's how
accents
you
where some
pronounce
people
it.
do sound like bottle of water, but most of you
Yes,
guys have the very
Americans.
crisp
This is
T
what the
sounds.
Americans are pronouncing. Like, this is their pronunciation. This is British.
You've triggered
Like,
him.
This is
We've
what you
triggered
sound
him.
like.
I'm gonna go find a Welshman and have him send sheep to your house.
Look, at least you'll know they're coming because there'll be a trail following them along the way.
Oh my
They'll be-
God.
It's
Oh,
very
no.
easy for the police to track them. It's
Oh
not my
my
fault.
God.
The Welsh have a saying, "We shag 'em, you eat 'em." That is their response. You're like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe you do it with sheep." Like,
I don't
well,
want to
you
eat
'em.
Welsh cubbies in my sheep.
Well, the Welsh didn't even deny it. This is my point. They didn't go, "Oh, no, we don't." They're like, "You eat 'em." It's like, that's not the response.
Well, I mean,
You're
here's a
supposed to
fun fact
deny
for
being
you,
with
since
the
everybody
sheep.
brings up the sheep shagging in the Englands. All right, I learned about Colombian donkey fucking. When you are a male and you want to, have the transformation into a man from a boy, you go through a ritual where you fuck a donkey, and actually you're allowed to just have
God.
sex with donkeys until you get a wife, and then it's your wife's responsibility
So,
to make sure you
they're
no
having
To
longer.
bring you a
with-
donkey.
No, you can't. You can't. Once you get married, you're not supposed to have sex with donkeys anymore. So it's your wife's
yeah, that'd be
job
rude.
to make sure you don't.
Well,
I always
done.
like the.
Because if you do, it's their fault.
I don't know if it's their fault or not, but like you're not supposed to let them have sex with
That's- oh
donkeys
my God.
anymore.
there is a joke over here of like, well, why do Welshmen not have zippers on their trousers? Like,
Oh,
because
no.
no, why do Welshmen have button-up flies? It's because sheep can hear a zipper a mile off.
Oh my God. Oh my
gosh.
God.
And this is why they invented sheepdogs. It's like they're lazy.
The Paladin for 5. When I hear do the Kirsche, I just think it's a dance. That's what I thought. Like, do the Urkel or do the Dougie. Love to see Kirsche on. Great show,
The
y'all. Thank you
Urkel.
so much.
I want a
Urkel.
cute Kirsche dance. That'll make it wholesome instead of sad.
Yeah, we'll make it
Let's
a thing.
start making it now.
UNSC Saratoga for $4.99. Ask about the crazier stories. Her mom is Satan incarnate. Her dad is a sweet angel, though. Oh my gosh.
My
We don't
mom
need to
doesn't
drum up
crazy.
her
Yeah, I was gonna
memories. She's here to have fun.
Why don't you bring up
Uh,
your guest's childhood trauma?
know,
Doesn't
right?
seem like the best topic
right.
for stream. Like, I don't know if you
For
noticed
your
earlier,
entertainment.
but Wicked literally started the stream with, "Let's have a look at this woman's corpse," and then we changed topic. We got got onto a joke, and she went, so, back to the corpse. I'm like, oh no, we changed. It was supposed to be a happy stream. She's like, no, I want to talk.
Maybe it was a happy corpse.
Yeah, we don't know. Spider God 99 for 20. Whatever you do, don't ask Kirsche about holding hands with an almost axe murderer. That sounds.
It was at
well, at least
my
it's
mom's
almost.
wedding.
Oh,
You
no.
almost held hands?
Well,
No, I held
it's an
hands with
almost
him, and he
axe murderer.
almost became an axe murderer.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
The question is, was it because he was incompetent or because he changed his mind?
You might have
It was
saved
because he was
lives.
incompetent. Like, I got the picture sent
the
to me of the
worst.
door being, like, mostly axed down, but once the police started showing up, he tried to run for it.
Did
They
you
eventually
see that in the
arrested him in the
movies?
woods afterwards.
Like, it was just a
Wow, that sounds like-
homage to
that
The
sounds like a
Shining.
horror movie.
It was like, all his life he'd wanted to replay that scene.
It's just a prank, bro!
Yeah, that gets you out of everything.
Crud Muffin for 2. The boogeyman checks under his bed for Kathleen K. I very much believe that.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Okay, we will catch up on the rest in a minute.
Why
Let's
sleep
get
on
to
the floor?
Let's get... What?
Oh my
Do you?
god.
No, although I have been considering. Apparently, there are loads of videos on YouTube about how the Japanese beds are just the best, and they've slept in Western
They're good
beds
for
their
your
entire
back.
life.
Yeah.
And they've had all these medical problems. Then they just use the Japanese, basically just a few blankets on the floor, and it fixes loads of stuff. And there's quite a lot of things, and it makes sense, right? If you believe that we just evolved, well, we didn't evolve to be in beds. We just slept on the floor all the time. So it makes sense that that would be the best for you. So I've always been curious.
Wow. Do
This
some
is where I spend
research
my
and let
free-
us know.
Anybody that's like wondering, how does this Bruce pretend is where rabbit holes like that? That's my entire life. I found weird topics and just be like, well,
Spend
maybe.
hours just diving in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what my TikTok feed is.
Rachel Zegler
Random
is
people sleeping on the floor.
I don't have TikTok. So Rachel's yes, Ian. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Rachel Zegler is addressing the multi-pronged backlash she faced regarding Disney's live-action reimagining of Snow White due in theaters March 21st. Oh, wow. Yeah, 20 days.
I'm even calling it a reimagining.
Yeah, because it's not... Yeah, that's...
It's better than a destruction of everything that's holy.
Yeah.
It's all marketing, okay? They didn't want to say that, but hey, here we are.
She said, I interpret people's feelings about this film as their passion for her, she said, and what an honor to be a part of something for which people feel so much passion. We're not always going to have the same sentiments as those around us, and all that we can do is give the best of ourselves. So if that's the best of her, then dang.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I've seen just glancing on Instagram and stuff, and this was before when they were dropping little teasers. I think this was even before the trailers, just pictures and stuff. There was people that aren't like us that actually dive into this stuff and really know about how crappy some of these people are. But for her, they knew just watching one interview because her interviews were so awful. So there's just regular people that are like, I would have gone to see this movie, but she is so, I'll go disprove route. She's so insufferable that I don't want to see her, or that she's a brat. And I mean, that's true. And it's just, that just shows you how bad this movie's probably going to do, because not even the normies want to go see it because they can't stand her.
Well, and if that's the best of her, what is Snow White gonna be? And we've heard snippets of it, and it's not what I grew up with who Snow White is as a character.
No.
I don't want to see it.
And I don't understand why they couldn't just give her a bow. She's got the Lord Farquaad hair. Just give her a red bow. Make it cute. What? I can't stand it. I know Snow White's hair was like that, but they could have made it cuter. Just literally just give her a little red headband with a bow, and boom. That would change the whole look. But no, we got Lord Farquaad. This
If you share what... Yeah, this, I was trying to find the full clip, but this is his response to it. The full clip is something along the lines of, I think he was talking about The Witcher. It's like, well, this guy, he's trying to do his best, but people just find him toxic. Do you find that there's any similarities between what's happening to that character and toxic fandom? And then he says this.
When it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate. And it's something which I have obviously had to come to terms with over the years.
That
Based and
is
correct.
almost... Yeah, but it's almost word for word what Rachel Zegler just said.
Because they've been trying to remarket her to be a more likable person.
And
Bill.
that is the default response whenever Rachel Zegler has said anything about this before, or whenever someone goes toxic fans and they go, oh yeah, of course they're toxic. People always reference this clip, and she basically rephrased that clip. And I wouldn't be surprised if PR people had been watching things. And
Oh, yes. They
like,
have
given
been.
them
People
lines.
have been watching because they want to know what the opposition thinks. What they deem as the opposition when people are just critiquing what they watch, as normal people do. And it's sad to see them learn too late, because I feel like we've seen this a few times over and over and over again, where they tell fans that they're toxic, and then their projects go into the ground. They don't make money, and they kept on doing it again and again. They don't learn.
Also, you have the idea that Henry Cavill, at this point, what he's referring to is people going, I think he's too stoic for the role. I don't think he's emotional enough. He's not the kind of person that when I was reading the books, he's not the temperament that I thought, and it wasn't the same. Whereas with Rachel Zegler, when people are criticizing her, it could be like, well, I don't like this product. It's old. It's dated. There's a romance with a guy who stalked her. It's weird. The entire storyline is awful. It needs to be more dated. She should be in charge. She should be leading things. She was attacking the IP, and he was just like, you don't look like the Witcher that I imagined in my own head. So he never attacked people, and she did. So when she says I just think it's passionate. It is, I'm sorry you felt that way. It's like, you're just being emotional about what I said. At no point does she ever take responsibility for her actions as if she's the one that prompted the response, as if she's the cause of it. Like, maybe I was wrong in what I said. And I remember, I think it was with the election stuff, when she said,
Oh, yeah. She said that F you, basically.
If you disagree with this opinion, just unfollow me. I don't need your business. And now she's like, I just think it's passion. I was like, these are not. You may have said the same thing, but this is not the same situation. It doesn't lead to the same response.
Yeah, and look, we just watched Constantine. In the comics, Keanu Reeves does not look like him whatsoever. And so, just hearing how Gary responded, be like, I think I'm going to hate this when I go in and watch it, and comes out loving it. You can have a different showing of a character and end up convincing people as long as the bones are still there in that character. And the way they were going about the press tour, being like, she don't need no prince.
Yeah, that's
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How is that supposed to? And it's about being just, not fair.
Yeah, and she's now called Snow White because she was born in a snowstorm. And the fairest doesn't mean of skin color. Now it means that she is more literally fair, like more just than someone called the Evil Queen. Well, isn't that every single person in the kingdom? And I made a video about it earlier. It was the dwarves, the same dwarves that you've CGI'd because you don't want to see their ugly mugs on the camera anymore, even though they're employed to play the roles. They must be more evil than the Evil Queen, because otherwise they would also be more just, also be more fair, which makes her entire question of the camera, like the mirror, pointless.
Yeah. It's if they wanted to go this route, but again, Disney doesn't like to do this. Just make something new instead of taking an old property, especially.
Would just make the old property. It was animation.
If you're
put
gonna
it in
make
live action.
Do that. But I mean, if they wanted to go like this, it makes no sense to me. A lot of things don't make sense to me, but like getting her, like I don't.
What?
No.
What?
But to just take it, and because Snow White was the first princess, right? Like, Walt Disney is turning over in his grave with what they're doing, because he also, there's a lot of things they've done, like he doesn't like sequels, and they've taken stuff that he's touched and made sequels. But I would say that Snow White, I know all the Disney princesses are supposed to be like sweet and kind, but Snow White is probably the most.
Zegler.
I know, she's like the most gentle one, that sings to the animals, and she's just very
Well, not in this.
kind and not and now and they get one of the most rudest, just brats, entitled piece of crap people to throw in
She's
that
like
role.
a Gen Zer.
Yeah, and
Like,
she has
do you remember-
no respect for the role. Like I've said this before with The Little Mermaid, that was stupid, but at least Haley had respect for the character. And you know, every little girl wants to be a princess, right? She's probably a Disney
Not the
princess. So
audience.
she's taken the role, right? And she was really nice to the original voice actress, and you know, she just respected the role. Granted, the movie was crap, but the actress herself was not a piece of crap. But Rachel Zegler.
Have you ever seen that interview? Rachel Zegler and Halle Bailey together, and so like, Rachel says, you know, all these people were talking about it, and Halle goes, yeah, you know, but at the end of the day, Rachel said, I just like to think that the audience is miserable, and I'm making a movie. And Halle goes, yeah, you know, we're just dapping on the haters. And she's just like getting rid of them.
Well, Haley, that sounds like she's making like a joke. Like, yeah, that's not great to say, but it seems more like she's just, it's not anywhere near as bad as what Rachel said. And she's not going on her social media attacking people like Rachel did.
That is because Rachel is the worst. Rachel gave Brie Larson a new lease of life. Yeah. That is how bad Rachel was.
It's true. She made her
at the same time that Rachel took over the crown, Brie Larson learned that the media isn't her friend. Yeah. And she should just block them and everything. It was an astonishing thing. I forgot to say before. There was it'll come back to me.
Okay, it'll come back. Well,
did you get distracted with Kirsche's boobs too?
I'd like to say yes. I wish it was that simple. I'd be like, oh, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
While you're thinking, I'll get a couple more
I did think that when you were like, you know, Walt Disney spinning in his grave, like, yeah, he was the first perpetual motion machine. He's actually the greenest energy.
Lone Wolf, thank you. 5. Zendaya built like a plank of wood and has the same level of acting talent. Yep. Well, she's Shrek's daughter now, so she's still.
Well,
didn't get rid of her yet.
Everything fits the theory that Hollywood likes a certain type of man, and that if that man likes men, then the women in Hollywood will look like what that man likes. And so you end up essentially eradicating everything that the audience wants to appease the people in Hollywood. This is why you can't have an industry that is... They are correct when they're like, well, actually would like diversity. It's like, yeah, but the diversity... If you want diversity, the majority should still be the majority. You shouldn't have essentially a small group of people be the majority, because then you'll only appeal to them as those people. And that's not profitable.
Nope. Mountain Mud for $4.99. The seemingly dumb questions are required. It's a tree you have to follow. It's a liability process called EMD. This was from... Oh, it was only 30 minutes ago. Okay, I'm catching up. Some of them like an hour ago. Thank you. Hayden Wayne 75. Kirsche and the Kirsche are different things. Do not the Kirsche. Kirsche, please explain. These degenerates should know what chat tries.
Well, I explained that the Kirsche is like a small woodland critter. It's like me when I lose all my brain cells. I just revert into a fox form.
Don't bang the small furry creature is what I took from that.
We're gonna change it. The Kirsche is gonna be. Oh yeah.
What, did you know Amanda
X-ray knows? Like, don't get me started.
Amanda Stenberg, when one of her previous things, she was at a convention. She went back to a hotel, and there was a furry convention outside.
Oh my god, I remember this.
And she joined them and started dancing with them in a rabbit costume. And she was like, "They must have thought I was one of them."
I finally feel accepted.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think you found your people.
Degenerates.
Bruised Monster for 5. I lived in Pensacola, but they have a great pizza place. Get the buttered garlic crust. I think Pensacola is like extremely far. Isn't that like the closest to Alabama, Florida is?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that's far. Yeah. I've never been there, but maybe one day. Ian Soforth, thank you for the 50 pounds. I put on a disproof video and now I have a sprained wrist.
What the heck? His videos are long.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to work up to it. You know, you start with TikTok Shorts, then you go to the hater videos, and then you eventually work up the stamina to get to the full length video. The reason I say the hater videos is because their minds are so small they can't actually make a video as long as mine.
It's true. Can you read this one, Disparu? It's for you.
Eventually you hit Mauler.
This one's for you, Disparu. You want to read it?
Wait, Popeye. Only Popeye can watch Mauler videos.
He's still going. Give him a second.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, the Moose Nugget for $5. Good Tiding Englishman. The bottle of water thing is a parody of the Cockney accent, if I recall correctly. Cockneys don't exist anymore. They're actually an endangered species.
They're
Like,
really?
unironically. Yeah, that we imported so many people, and so many people are in London now, that they got the social housing, and so London just became too expensive for actual Cockneys to live, and so they've had to move out, and so the accent will die off eventually. Because it
That's
used to be
actually
a
really
regional accent.
tragic.
Aw.
Well, that's all of England. It's just more because London. Everyone wants to live in London. It's happening faster, but
Are you-
eventually everyone will get displaced or watered down to it'll get
Is it going to become a Muslim or an Indian country, though?
I'm not sure. I mean, there will be stabbings and theft, but I'm not sure.
I mean, there's going to be
which-
stabbing and theft either way, but I'm just wondering, like, which shade of brown it's going to become.
I don't know. I don't think it's a tech sector, so I would imagine the former.
Hopefully Britannia can rule the seas again. All right, I don't want to see father die.
At this point, I'm just like, I've played enough 4X strategy games to know at some point, you're like, I've lost this battle. Let's just go and conquer the rest of the world.
Oh boy.
We can raise the empire again, lads. We just need to pick a place and start from scratch. We can
True.
rebuild the villages and treat it like Age of Empires 2. As long
Pick
as
a
one
new
villager
island.
is left alive, we can rebuild.
Market reality for 2. What if the donkey feels neglected? Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
It won't feel neglected after, not unless he's bad.
It's probably
anyway.
relief.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
being
probably.
used
It's
anymore.
more
Honestly,
practice.
Shane, thank you for the 20. No shoulders. Well, we keep telling Disparu that you guys want shoulders, but he doesn't want to listen. We got that one time he was drunk enough to show shoulder, but I don't know when we're gonna get that
So
again.
you just gotta have like a goal, right? There's a super chat goals on YouTube now. I'd be like, okay, guys, if we get like $300 in super chats, Disparu will take his shirt off.
Oh,
My entire thing has been we would make way more money if they did it. I was like,
Yeah, but it's illegal if they do it on stream.
I have some
Yeah.
vague suspicion that I may be correct in this. So like, no.
Chat,
No,
who would
you're
you rather
wrong.
see take off their shirts?
Yeah, but because you're asking, they will do whatever you say. That is the point.
One for Disparu, 2 for the girls.
The girls.
That lies. This is the entire point. They're trying to please you in the first place.
Gabe, thank you for the 199. Stay strong, Disparu. Don't let them guess like you.
I
don't know
won't.
if that was for-
I'm a man.
He's a man.
Oh, chat's not lying this time.
But that is
So
the
you
best
are
thing.
doing
I can
one
be
and
correct
2?
either way. I could say they're lying, or well, at least they were honest this time. Their instincts overruled them.
I'm banning all of the 2. Oh no.
I support this message.
Gail, thank you for the 5. Careful, Warner might sue over insulting playing from Ed, and Eddie. # Would Lives Matter. Thank you. Michael King for $4.99. Took my daughter when she was 9 years old to see the live-action Cinderella starring Lily James, the best live-action adaptation I've seen. Yeah, it's great. And Richard Madden is Prince Charming. Yes, thank you. Loved it. It was very
I think
well
Shad's a
done.
big fan.
I've heard we should have a Cinderella stream one day. Mitchell Fields, thank you for the
Shad
5.
would unironically
He'd probably
turn
be
up
down for that.
If it was that or Twilight, he'd be there.
Oh gosh, well I'm not a Twilight fan, but
He is. He makes
the
it up for
live
both
action
of you.
That's funny. Who would want to have
Sex?
sexy with a little woodland creature?
Oh my god.
Have
Was
sexy
that
with
all
a bear,
of
like in Baldur's Gate 3, like a normal person. Oh my gosh, that was.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that. Oh.
Degenerates, all of them.
Yeah.
Dollar furries is what I'm hearing.
I did see there was someone put there was a poll out like, can you read this? And it was just all done in Leet speak, and it was one of the first times in recent years that the younger generation couldn't read Leet speak at all. They're just like,
What
"Oh,
is
wow."
that? Sorry.
Seeing Wicked struggle over a 5 being an S, that's Leet speak. Except it was numbers replacing letters, and I can read it as if
I
it's
didn't
normal.
struggle. It just
Yeah,
took a
same.
second.
And it was like the amount of time they
I
were
just, I just
Interpretation.
needed a second.
I'm like, oh no, that was one of the easiest ones.
Oopsies.
Video Gamer
We're a dying
25.
breed.
for $2.25. See Foxu give cash. Thanks for having her on. Oh, thank you. Spoony Night Mazza with a $5 super sticker.
Hang on, I need to see the face. I don't even know what Night Mazza will be.
Oh my
That
god.
makes me want some mozzarella.
even
Oh my
look
god,
like
my
mozza.
grocery store had these like mozzarella balls and this like delicious.
Oh, I
oil
love
Fresh
stuff.
those.
mozzarella
Oh.
with fig jam and salt and prosciutto.
Yes.
Oh my god.
After I
Fresh
learned that
mozza,
the
the
way
fig?
figs become figs is that like wasps get trapped inside of them and then liquefy, I don't think I could ever eat a fig again.
Prawn brains are some of the most disgusting things I've ever tasted in my life.
Ew.
This is something that
had
has
it.
scarred me since I was a young child. I went to a wedding, and it was like afterwards. I was forced to go to a wedding. I was a kid. Afterwards, they did a
Forced.
multi-course thing. It was one of the poshest places I've ever been because they made you eat sorbet in between the courses to cleanse the palate.
Oh, that's
But
so
they
cute.
also served you prawns that were in the entire. They were full prawns. And so there's little, like, 7-year-old me trying to de-shell prawns, and just brains went everywhere.
Oh no!
Most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my entire life.
Really?
That literally scarred me for about 30 years.
Don't go to certain Asian countries. You'll be disgusted by some of the stuff you eat for sure.
I'm not surprised, but, I mean, if it barks at me, it's generally friend.
Yeah, that's just on the street in Vietnam. You know?
I'd try and make friends with the random stray. There's a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh,
Actually,
no,
of
I
people
mean
going
dead
out and
dogs,
feeding
just
like stray cats
cooked
and
already.
dogs and stuff.
They're cooked already.
Yeah, they're just hanging in the window.
Well, why are they barking at me? That's even more horrific.
You're hallucinating. You're taking too
as
many
the
drugs.
advertisement.
As they're
I don't
cooking,
know.
they like cook them from the back end forwards. Like, no, actually, that's what makes it taste better.
Yuck.
This is why Asian women have
I
such
really like the
high-pitched
awkward
voices.
silence after that one.
Back to fig jam.
He's got to go home, scare his woman a little bit before he goes down on her. You know, it's like the fear makes it taste better.
It's the Asian way. It's not my fault.
No. A loved animal
I'm just
is
learning
tastier.
about foreign cultures. Although she is Canadian, so you're not sure which one it is. Does the love of fear come from the Canadian part or the Asian part?
You'll never know.
I mean,
That's
her
why I'm trying to
husband's missing
escape to
a leg.
America.
That's the question of, like, how did that happen? Sorry, I
Matt,
got hungry once.
Matt Clyde, thank you for being a member for 6 months. I'm straight and I'd rather see Disbrew. If you ladies turn garden implement, I'm out for good. I like y'all being wholesome, can find smut elsewhere. Thank you. No, don't. We'll never be taking our shirts off. That's just a joke.
That's the start of my Rachel Zegler video where she goes, "Hello, I'm Rachel," and then it starts
then
with
Disbrew
the
takes
Snow
his
White
shirt
thing,
off.
and it's just
I'm
like,
kidding.
"Hi ho!"
Oh my god.
Mitchell Fields for 5. Disbrew, could you move your flag up in the background? When you sit up straight, you block it. It's been driving me nuts for weeks.
My favorite thing is when I went to Orlando, I think I saw it on Twitter as well. Like, where did you buy the ironing board cover? I was like, I'm sorry? What do you mean? I went, that. No, it's just a flag.
They think your flag
It's a
is-
flag underneath the speaker, so it's horizontal. But apparently people thought it was an ironing board that I've never moved.
Oh, wow.
Which, to be
I
fair,
can see it now. Now that you've said that, I can see that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
can kind of see it.
Yeah.
it's interesting how people interpret things. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's just got an ironing board in his background. Oh,
Um,
brave of you to assume I have an ironing board. You should know better.
He's like, I don't iron my clothes. What?
I don't
got
own an
time for
iron.
that.
No, the creases come out when you wear them.
What the heck?
Oh gosh. Thank you for the 50 pounds, Ian. Oh my God, Kirsche talking about mozzarella while Disbrew leaned into the screen, muttering about whether or not a picture looked like Mazza, nearly made me puke with
It
laughter.
doesn't look like Mazza. It didn't look like Mazza at all.
But did it look like mozzarella?
Oh, now I want mozzarella.
Me
Please.
too.
Mm. We
No,
had
no,
good
it didn't.
mozzarella in Toronto.
Mazza doesn't look like cheese. It might look like American spray-on cheese, but that's not cheese.
Oh, that stuff sounds so nasty. Who eats cheese from a can?
I actually think that should eradicate you from being able to have a country. If you invent spray-on cheese. Like, no, that's
No,
too
When you
far.
say spray on cheese, it makes me think of like someone spraying the cheese on their body like a spray tan.
Why else would you invent aerosol cheese?
See,
like,
look
well,
at it.
It's a long-lasting tan. Exactly.
Leet speak will never die. We aren't old. Racer for two. Thank you. Is it Leet?
True.
Did I say that one right? Or is it
Yeah.
Leet?
How on
Okay.
earth did you read that perfectly, but before you struggled with the 5 being an S?
It's because there was just one random number thrown in there, and it's late, and I'm like,
Have
my
you ever
brain just
seen
took a second.
the Jumbles reading comprehension test?
Yeah.
Oh, the first
bizarre.
and last letter is correct, but everything in between is mixed.
Yeah,
Your
and you
brain
read it
doesn't actually read
perfectly.
a whole word. It actually reads the first and last letter, and that's why you
Well,
typically can.
Yeah.
No, it does read the whole word, but it assumes it in one go. And so it doesn't matter what order it is. It also, you can cover the top half of all letters, and you read the bottom half of the letters. So you actually skim read everything.
Oh.
Word by word and only the bottom bits.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the spray cheese, I'm sure. Actually, I don't know because I know Extra Girl hasn't seen a lot of movies, and I don't know if Disparu's seen this, but the Goofy movie from the '90s, where he's
Oh,
at
I
the
love
leaning
that
tower.
movie.
Yeah, the leaning tower of cheese. That was Cheese Whiz. And that's the like canned cheese. I'm not saying it's good. I've never actually had it.
Did you know Cheese Whiz is actually gray and they dye it yellow
Oh,
that's
yuck.
horrific.
That makes it even worse.
just to make you feel comfortable that it's actually cheese? It's all
Like, don't worry,
lies.
it's yellow. It's actually cheese. Don't worry about it. Don't ask any questions.
My favorite thing is over here on ingredients, they will list American cheese. Because it's not cheese. They will specifically put on that this is American cheese. And then I'm pretty sure I went to Orlando and someone said American cheese as an ingredient on a burger.
Yeah.
But no, you need to know the type because this isn't proper real cheese.
Yeah, I don't like American cheese. It tastes
Like
icky.
synthesized
Cheddar
plastic,
cheese.
essentially.
Yeah, it's like cheddar cheese, but yes, with plastic.
And then in France, there's like 240 something different types of cheeses over there.
Yeah,
Sounds
French
great.
cheese is really
I
not-
love
'cause
cheese.
All our cheese has to come from pasteurized milk, so they have to add the bacteria back into it. The French don't care. Theirs is just digested bacteria.
I would just the
Excretion.
only cheese I think I wouldn't ever want to eat is the Casa Marzu, I think it's called, the Italian maggot cheese.
Oh, no,
Or
no.
like
Oh
it's-
yeah, the one you
No, thank
can't legally buy it, but they
Yeah.
donate to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
thank
because
you.
they can't guarantee that you will chew all of the live maggots, and so
Ugh.
you might swallow them and they might eat their way through your stomach. Why you can't buy it?
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
There
No
you go.
thanks.
That's
I don't
something
want to
that you
eat
might
something
not have known,
alive.
and now you know.
There's
now
also
you know.
it's this, that kind of thing exists for everything. There's also coffee beans where some monkeys will eat the coffee beans and pass through them, and then they make the coffee out of the digested beans.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
of those.
really expensive. For some reason, we just. I have a thing that every national dish is just taking the piss out of everyone else in the world that comes there as tourists, because it's always disgusting, and they just come up with the most repulsive thing they can find.
You know, I don't know what America's national dish is. Like, I want to say a cheeseburger, but that feels like it's too obvious.
I think it is a cheeseburger, to be honest. Let's Google it just for funsies.
I think it's high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, gross.
I don't think anyone else in the world uses high fructose corn syrup, and yet with yours, it's in everything.
It's
Like,
We
yeah,
need to
Coca-Cola
get
is
rid of
awful.
that shit.
yeah, we do.
I don't know why you'd put remove sugar and put that in.
There apparently
know.
is not an official designated dish. However, apple pie is considered a strong contender.
What?
You see, after Donald Trump makes our national language English, what he needs to do is give us a national dish, and it
Yeah.
should be the cheeseburger.
And then
Yeah.
there's hamburgers, chocolate brownies, and turkey.
I love turkey.
There we go.
There was a local farm back where I lived as a kid, and you would get to go there and pick out like the turkey that you'd want butchered for your turkey pies. It was a lot of fun.
Oh.
It was
I
great.
like that with what is it, lobster and stuff. You go and pick out the one you want killed. You're like, wait. I've also-
You look the most delicious.
I've also seen videos of crabs that were in plastic, and one of the crabs cut his way out of the plastic. And
Oh,
just
God.
escapes across the other crabs that are still stuck in their plastic webs. You're like, yeah,
See, the
I'm
food
the best of
specifically
this.
tastes better when you know that it is because of you that its life is over.
It's like the power of God gives it extra flavor.
UNSC Saratoga for $9.99. The literal Who armor is gone, Kirsche. It's only a matter of time before MSNBC is calling you racist because you said people should be hired based on ability and not skin color. Yeah.
You know, eventually, I'm sure I'll be called out.
I would love. Can you imagine the news trying to describe VTubers as a whole, though? Like, so this animated character started talking about politics, and all the noise like, you mean a cartoon? Are you describing a cartoon in the news?
Actually, fun fact, Fox News Australia actually did an interview with a VTuber. So not even like left-leaning media, but a right-leaning media network did a interview with a VTuber before.
Wow.
I can, if you're kind of aligned in any way, I could see it. It's if you're trying to slur them in some way. So if you try to take them and portray them as bad people, you first have to explain what on earth you're even looking at.
Dangerous far-right activists are parading around as anime women.
It's just a cartoon with big boobs. Like, does this really seem like a threat?
Oh, that's like
this is the pipeline.
I brought this up. I brought this up when I was on a podcast last, but when people were reacting to like Craig's Real Game Awards, like there were a lot of people upset about that, like so much salt mining.
I saw some of that, yeah.
And there was one guy who reacted to me, and like it played the beginning, so like it did the intro, like here's Kirsche, and I'm like hi, and then he paused it and he was like, "Isn't this bitch a Nazi?" It's so funny, like just the complete opposites of like hi, and then how angry he sounded after.
I would have that clip available as a button press at any time.
I have it as an alert on my channel. I don't know if I have the clip available because I'll link it in the chat if I can find it.
That sounds amazing.
It's so good, man.
There was a dwarf comedian that I put in a video today, and he was like, you know, the other small people in the community don't like me because I use the word midget. So 12 people came along and they start protesting. They've got the placards. They're not placards. They're 5x9 cards. But one of them said that using the word midget is the same as calling a black person the N-word. I was like, midget, please.
No.
No, thank you.
And now I
You
just
can't use the
midget,
hard
please.
T. You're not one of them.
Oh my gosh. Dwarf comedian that I put in my video today.
Yeah. Look, he didn't take up much room. There was plenty of space. I did say that Peter Dinklage, he's not, you know, he's hardly going to be an action star. He's not going to be in the next Die Hard. Although he would be amazing in those vents. He wouldn't even have to slow down. He could just sprint through them.
He just walks right through. No need to crawl.
I love the videos they do. They show like
oh my god, perspectives.
Yes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that,
they're doing
and
like
then,
the
and then,
battle rope, and it's like
and they're holding
shoelaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like there was one that was one of my favorites where it's like this like midget getting ready to run. And he's like all amped up and he's going to jump in the pool, and then it shows like just like a tiny little, bloop, like he threw like a pebble in there.
I saw one bungee jumping and then a dog ate something. There was shot put led to an olive going on someone's pizza.
Yeah, they're great.
So cute.
Very cute. Emperor Creatine for 5. Fun fact, first spray can cheese was made in 1965 by Nabisco. Another thing New Jersey has cursed us with. Straight from the underground
gross.
cheese vaults. Yuck.
That's hilarious.
Sparky, thank you for the 5. I just want to say thank you for having Kier on. Normal people ignore her because of anime racism, so it's always fun and good to see her out of the den. Aw.
Racismus.
Yeah, there's a lot of
The veto.
anime racists. They're just like I can't listen to an anime person. That's disgusting.
Rude.
Surely that would be I can't look at an anime person, considering listening to an anime they're still a person.
Well, you would think, right? You would think.
Hold on.
Yeah. How do you listen to the radio when you don't even see a body?
Yeah, exactly.
We've got
They
the
just think the
clip.
spirits are
Thanks-
speaking to them.
Thanks, Kirsche. Here, let me make sure I got the sound on. Full screen it. Okay, here we go.
I don't know why it's so tiny. I was like, I
I know,
don't know
it
how
doesn't
you
even
mess up a
matter.
clip like that.
Lady VTuber Kirsche.
Hi.
Isn't this bitch a Nazi?
That's amazing.
Isn't this bitch a Nazi?
That is what they're known for. Yeah, the Germans were renowned for
VTubers,
their
yeah.
anime cartoon
How
women.
dare you? How dare
Hitler
you
loved
say
anime
that?
women.
That's
You
how
guys
he
are part
got
of the Aryan
elected.
race.
Yeah, that's why he was allied with Japan, don't you know?
Oh my.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my gosh. The chat for 2. Hello everyone. Great show.
You did great. Good job.
Also the chat for 2. Wicked. Great victory with Jay over the Meg. Yes, we took down the Meg. The
Shark
was,
in Wrath?
yeah, there was in
The
Sea of
Megalodon.
Thieves. They have the Megalodon. They have
Oh.
new ones. It's not the regular ones, and it was tough. But we did it. It was just me and him. We did it.
I'm proud.
Pirates. Yes.
I wish I could
Thank
play
you.
that game. I get seasickness.
She gets seasick. It's okay.
Oh no.
Mitchell Fields for 5. Disprue, have you had apple pie? I hear it isn't popular in the UK. What we do have to do is bake you one IRL and get vanilla ice cream also. Oh, what do we have to do to make you bake
Where do
one
you think
IRL?
Americans
Sorry.
got apple pie from?
Is it an English
Obviously
thing?
not you, Dad.
It is the most ridiculous thing ever. America's like, we've only been around for 150 years. Nothing existed in all of history.
We made
Obviously.
what do you mean? We made everything. I don't want to hear it. Everything came from us.
Can I just say, I forgot where it was, but they're like, put a slice of cheese on it.
What?
That's like a
That's
thing.
a thing. That is, I've never done it, but that is a thing. That's supposed to be.
I'm with Elon Musk. We need to send people to Mars. We can start
yeah,
with
I
them.
thought the apple pie did come from the Dutch. No, was it a you? I don't
have
know where
apple
some
pie
things
over here.
came from. Go
I
ahead
don't
and
care
educate
where
me.
it
I'm
came
okay
from.
with
It's
it.
just like Americans didn't invent anything at all in your entire. It's like all food you took from somewhere else. You're like, have you ever heard of this thing where we put apples in pies? Like, it's amazing. Like, you don't even have pork pies over there. All your pies, you just put fruit in. It's like, well, there was a whole.
Hey, oh,
range
that's
of
not
pies.
true.
I
We
like
still have
having
shepherd's
hot
pie
Your
over here.
experience of high
We have
fructose
meat
corn
pies
syrup.
over here too,
Yeah.
but
We got the shepherd's pie, you got the chicken pie, the turkey pie. They're great.
Shepherd's pie, I'm sure there's definitely. Degeneracy came from the top.
That's true. That is very true.
It's like the Dutch are Pandora's box. That's what they meant. The first person to cross the border just unleashed the degeneracy across the world.
How dare you unleash the Dutch?
Emperor, thank you for.
Especially in those ovens.
Like, we've made a mistake, we must go back.
Sorry. Thank you for another 5,
The
sir.
only people didn't want to invade, they wanted to keep them in.
Sir, we've unlocked the enemy's communication. We can listen in at any time. By Jove, what are they saying, man? Asuka is best girl?
That's anime meme.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There's an eternal battle over whether Asuka or Rei is best girl.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting to that time, so let's. What do you have coming up, Kirsche? What streams, videos? Plug all your stuff, and we also
hell
her
yeah.
links. Her links
You
are in
can't
the
say that to
description.
Kirsch, you know what's going to happen.
Use that ketchup bottle.
Her links are in the description, by the way. And if one of my mods could be so kind to post, I'd appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I don't have anything super special coming up. I have a Gamer Subs merch drop that'll be happening towards the end of March. I don't have a date that I can release yet, but I'm really excited for that. Super hyped. Recently I've just been playing a game from my childhood, been playing Okage, and tomorrow I'm going to be catching up on some super chats and playing more of that, so it'll be really, really cozy, relaxed, lots of yapping tomorrow.
Nice. So a nice chill
yeah.
stream.
Yeah, you can
Apple
find me
pie
on
originated
YouTube,
in
Twitch,
England.
and Twitter.
Sorry. I should just Google it.
You just got
just
really
show British
excited about that
supremacy.
apple pie.
It's like, by the way, we made that.
Yes. 14th century England.
Okay, well, you win that one. Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, and on X. Her links are in the description. I have to just put your link. It's not Linktree. It's something different, but they're same. Same idea. And what do you have coming up, X-Ray? Anything tomorrow?
Tomorrow, art in the morning at 9 a.m. Central, and then 12 we're gonna be playing Food Simulator again.
Nice.
fast food simulator. Az is gonna yell at us, and I'm probably gonna cry most likely. I've never worked in fast food, and I don't think I can. I'm not chopped up for it. So it'll be at 12, and then Forbidden Frontier on Nerdrotic Live and on Rumble, where we're gonna talk to Hugh Newman and Andrew Collins from Megalithomania. So lots of good stuff.
What
and
about
I'll be
you?
home next week.
Oh, okay. I know you've been there. It's like that feels like home. You've been there for so long.
3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. What do you have? What videos, Disparu?
Put up a Rachel Zegler video today about her comments combined with the Henry Cavill stuff. May talk about the supposed removal of DEI from Hollywood, and a bit of a busy time. I am really looking forward to Snow White appearing.
Yeah,
Finally,
20 days, the countdown.
After all this time, we get to see what they've been hiding from us for over
It's finally happening.
Finally. And I have tomorrow my Sunday night Scream stream with the Capable Gentleman, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure what we're playing yet. I always let him choose because that's like the only stream that he does. So I'm like, you can pick the game. So tune in tomorrow to find out. And then just my gaming streams throughout the week. And also a History of Pirates on Friday. I'm not sure what pirate we're talking about, but the Vindicta merch is also out if you guys want to check that out from Nine Line. I love Nine Line stuff. I don't even know if you knew about it, Disbrew. I know you really like Nine Line, but I love this design for the pirate stuff. It's nice. Check it out.
Nine Line do great stuff.
They do.
The
It's
quality
such
of
great
printing,
quality.
I've never seen anything that's like equal to it.
And they support veterans,
really
so it's
thick
like
kind of stuff.
I love that too. They help out veterans, and thank you, Hokies, with the link for History of Pirates. That
does get me when people are like, "Oh, Disbrew wears Nine Line stuff. He's supporting the
I
veterans."
know.
Like, it's just because they have good merch, folks.
Yeah, no, it's true though. I mean, like that's just something. I come from a family of veterans, so I love that. But they do just have high quality stuff as well. So yeah, that's what I have going on. Before we go, I'll catch up on these super chats real quick. Thank you guys so much. Carl Anderson for 2. I was wondering why they called it Dutch disease. Bigglesworth 223 for 5. There's only 2 things I cannot stand: people who are intolerant of other people's feelings and the Dutch. It sounds like something Ian would say. For Racer M53 for 5. The Brit talking food. Y'all stole spices from half the world and never used them. Lol. Also, where did tea come from?
You don't need spices if the base ingredients are high quality. That's where the flavor's meant to come from. You put spices.
This man's
to cover
chicken
poor
looks as
quality
white as I
ingredients.
do.
But chicken is a terrible meat anyway. Like chicken is the low
You're
quality
preparing it
poor
wrong.
man's meat that you have to cover in
You're
loads
a
of
low
spices
quality poor man's meat.
In order, I know we won't see me disagreeing with that. But then again, I wouldn't expect to create an entire franchise based off eating meat either. So that would be fair enough.
Gabe, thank you for the 199. Shepherd's pie is from England, Kirsche.
I didn't
still
say
have
we
it here.
created it. I was just correcting him because he said we only have fruit pies, and we do not.
We have meat pies. We do.
I
It's not pies. Is what they're called
Shepherd's
here.
pie may be
usually.
called a pie, but it's also not a pie.
It's like Boston cream pie. It's not a pie, it's a cake, but it's my favorite pie.
Let's not get distracted by cream pies.
I mean, maybe we should.
Mitchell Fields for 5. I got my info off a European React/tries video. Sorry, I should never have trusted the British.
True.
No, you should never have
True.
trusted the Europeans. The British were correct.
Aren't you a European? Does
No.
that not make you?
No, even when we were
No.
in the EU, if you started asking people, are you part? No. The Brits have always considered themselves separate to
I
Europe.
don't know if you understand geography, but
Well, I don't know if you understand culture.
well, I'm just saying Europe is European and you're part of the Europes.
And I'm just saying that culturally, no British person that ever considered themselves part of Europe. We have a
They are
entirely
very
different
snobby
temperament.
over there.
Clearly.
Yes. It's not our fault people are
Learn the
inferior.
rules. Further on.
For near Ravenger for 2. Father created apple pie, but the son improved it. I'm not
Aye.
gonna-
True.
I'm
Everything the
disagree
British
with
have
that.
created, we just made better, because we're the best, baby!
You just took high fructose corn syrup and everything. You're
No,
like the
minus
Scotch.
that.
It's like, oh, we made this whiskey. That means it's Scotch whiskey. Oh, we've got this egg. No, it's a Scotch egg. And they just steal everything.
I will have to give you that one, though. Whoever
Yeah.
decided that we have to put high fructose corn syrup and everything, they should be brought back to life and then guillotined for eternity.
Yeah. Ian Moon for 5. History began in 1776. Everything before that was a mistake. I'm not going to disagree with that. Our history is 1776 when we were born did.
It's interesting. All of your own history you eradicate with that statement. Look, that was a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. That was a. That's like, oh.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna send you guys over to Project Egg Roll. Go say hi to the guys and make sure you're subbed to and following Kirsche and everything. And thank you again so much for coming on. This was so much fun.
Hell yeah, it was nice. It was nice to hang out. I'll have to talk to X-Ray Girl because I can't do like Friday night tights, but I'd like to do Tuesday night again at some point.
Ooh, that's Krista for Tuesday.
Okay.
Noise.
It's okay. She's like, okay, it's fine. There's a lot of them.
I know.
Girls. But thank you again so much, guys. We will be back next week, and there's actually going to be a guest next week too. I know what's going on with March. We haven't had a guest for a month, and now we got two. So stay tuned for
buses.
that. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night, and we'll.
Oh wait,
see
there
you
was one
next
more
week.
super chat.
Is that not the
is
same
there?
you have over there?
You got. Oh, sorry. Last super. Thank you, Mitchell, for the 5. Okay, you made apple pie, but have you tried it with vanilla ice cream?
It's so yummy.
Don't put.
It's very good.
Stop mixing all these foods that shouldn't. No, vanilla ice cream is nice. Apple pie is nice. We don't need to keep combining.
the
Totally
ice
put it
cream
together
goes
and
on
it's
the pie.
really
What's
yummy.
wrong with
Just
Stop
saying.
combining the crap.
Oh my god, this guy.
I know.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Go say hi to Egg Roll.
Ooh woo.